What's up, everyone? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Mic check one, two. What's up, everyone? Welcome to Knowledge and Relationships. This is your boy M3, and we also have Mr. Best in the world.
What's
Dun,
good,
dun,
y'all?
dun, 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 dun.
What up, what up, y'all? What up, what up?
What up? What up, Mr. Best man? How you doing?
Doing all right, doing all right.
Okay, that's what's up, man. Before we get started, let's go ahead and give a shout outs to Big Rick Slap. He's in the building. I forgot to turn my sound effects on, but don't worry.
Big Rig, what up?
Brum, 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 brum. I got you, Big Rigs. You know. Mm. But anyways, man. I know right now there's a lot that's like going on for tonight. But hold on, let me give you the air horn. There we go. And maybe a little bit of because we gotta play the organ.
Oh, man.
All right. So shout outs to anybody that's tuning in. Look, I know right now, like, there's a lot that's going on the internet. Okay. Salutes to Daryl Long. Thank you for tuning in, my brother.
Daryl, what's good,
Um,
boy?
yeah, salutes to you. Good to see you up in here, man. I know there's a lot that's going on. You know, today's Kevin Summers' birthday. So happy birthday. Also, may Kevin Summers continue to rest in peace. Thomas Sora Maya is also streaming right now. So, there's a lot that's pretty much that's going on. And with a lot
Mhm.
that's going on, I know people are pretty much tuning into, Kevin Samuels and Yaris. Salutes to you. Long time no see, but thank you
Hey,
for
what's
tuning
going on,
in.
family? Salute to yours.
You know what I'm going to do, man? Normally I wait for a certain period of time, but I'm going to drop the link, man. I'm definitely going to drop a link. Anybody could tune in. So go ahead and join in, people, because we want to have a discussion, okay? All right.
M3, hold on. I'm logging in from my other phone. Hold on.
Okay, no problem. And then if you guys are having trouble, like, log in, just let me know. Hit me up on the IG, and then we'll take care of that. All right. But, feel free to come up, man. Anybody's welcome to come up. Don't matter who it is, just come through. Now, so tonight's subject, right, is first, have you fulfilled your childhood aspirations? Again, shout outs to Mr. Best in the world for coming up with these very thought provoking topics. Okay. But sometimes, man, like, your boy gotta take a break, man, like, from like topic creation. There's a lot that we're doing as content creators, by the way. And here's the thing. It's it's rough like when you're in a certain space which people have a stigma for black YouTubers for us to always beef, always try to start arguments, always button heads. Excuse me. And when you're trying to do something that is like pretty much outside of the box, and I'm not even saying that, the people, but if you're relying on YouTube's algorithm to continue to like push it, you know, YouTube may not be doing that, so we gotta always make sure that we stay consistent. I encourage every content creator to do the same thing as well. But it's all good. So, childhood aspirations. So, what are some of the things, right? Chat that oh wait, hold on for a second. Before I continue, let me go ahead and bring up Lady E in the building. What up, Lady E?
What's going on?
Nothing much. Salutes to you. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay.
Okay. You sound okay as well too, though. But
Yeah.
I'm still hearing the little accent, right? It's getting strong as usual, but I like it. So
I'll be back to the old me. Give me less than 48 hours. I think I'm gonna be there.
Okay. Well, that's what's up. Well, anyways, continue to get well soon. But Lady E, since you up in here,
Get
right?
well soon, lady.
Thank you.
Man, she all right, man. Whatever, man.
Woo.
Well, she is a pharmacist though, so just a few more drugs might speed up the process.
Actually, took the most that I took was Tylenol and Theraflu.
She still ain't tell us what kind of pharmacist she is, though. But it's all good.
I did.
Mm,
I
we still trying
did.
to figure out if you are a urban pharmacist or you just a regular pharmacist. I'm still trying to figure that out.
Well, I guess that's gonna be the mystery for you to find out.
Oh Lord, have mercy. No,
Man,
I'm cool. I'm cool. I ain't trying to find that out. I'm cool.
that's too much work anyway. But Lady E, right? Since you're up in here, what are your well no actually as a kid, did you had any aspirations? Like basically, have you ever fulfilled aspirations as a child? Oh, let me go ahead and bring someone else up too though. We have Ruthless Media. Salutes to you.
I'll put the,
Salute, brother. Salute.
Salute. Thank you for tuning in. All right, cool, man. So
I see,
it's
hey,
pretty good.
M3, I seen you today, boy.
Yeah, most
I
definitely.
was like, look at him out there in the jungle.
Oh, thank you. Oh, wait, what'd you say? What'd you say, Ruthless Media? I mean, Ruthless Truth, I meant.
I said, I seen you in the jungle today.
Oh, man, I'd be all around, like, whenever it's needed. Like, shout out to Tommy
I
Sotomayor.
was shocked, though. I was like, what?
Hold on for 1 second.
And,
Man, I'm
now
surprised
listen,
you wasn't up there. I'm surprised you wasn't up there with the truth.
the Intellectual SoapBox was up there, too.
Yes,
Both
sir. I
y'all were
was. Yeah, we were.
together.
Yeah, we were. Yes, sir. I'm surprised you didn't come up. I'm surprised you didn't come up, sir.
I think you guys been handling it perfectly. I didn't need to come up.
Salute. Definitely, sir.
Like if I felt like it was like leaning the wrong way, I would have came on up there.
Oh, definitely, man. Thank you for having our back, man. We appreciate that for real.
Yeah. So I was. It was good that I see you guys get out like that and like in the community, and it was somewhat enlightening.
No, much appreciated.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, man, like, as content creators, man, you wanna branch out, do whatever that you need to do. So, to at least like put like some type of light in your own self, for the people that's around you. So that's the way how I kind of look at it.
That's how I took it.
Yeah. No, I appreciate it.
You know what I mean? I look at it, I was like, okay, they're spread their wings, flying out the nest.
Mm-hmm.
and, and I feel like growth to occur, we have to start reaching out.
Mm-hmm. No, most definitely.
Absolutely. Real.
I said this before, like in someone else's panel, like we can't be complacent. We get to a level where we're at, and then once we get to the level where we're comfortable, we don't try to help other people to like get out of their complacency. We don't try to help them to like level up, but we have talks or whatever. Just like earlier today, there was a point that I made. And salutes to to Daryl Long and setting the record straight. But me and Best, we was on his channel, and one of the things that I kind of mentioned, because a lady was asking most of the men on the panel, if you had daughters, how would you pretty much help them deal with their mental health, or just how would you like raise them accordingly? And I don't want to fully misquote, but I'm just going to paraphrase what Mr. Sotomayor was saying, was that his daughter is like his first love. Like basically his daughter have his heart, but the love is like a first date, And I was like, and it brought me up to mind, right, about like Shaq and Steve Harvey, how they treat their daughters, versus how they treat their sons. Because it's easy for a dad to tell a son, no, man, you got to work, you got to get things, so you got to do it on your own. But for the daughter, it's like, well, let me help you out because you're like my princess. Okay. And so one of the things that I mentioned, because in the space in the, where it be the manosphere or whatever, you'll have guys that complains about women having high standards and expectations. The expectations overriding in the US. Okay. But the problem is that after their expectations, like when their expectations is over exceeded, they want to run and go somewhere else. But if that was your daughter, you would teach your daughter those same things. Now, before I even continue, I gotta digress a little bit because I'm kind of going off the topic, and I gotta get back to Lady E because I did ask her a question about have she ever fulfilled like her childhood aspirations. So my fault, Lady E.
Oh, I'm here. Um, when you say childhood aspirations, as like career wise, or just a goal in any goal in general.
Like basically what you wanted to be when you grow up.
Oh,
Like
I'm absolutely nothing that I wanted to be when I grew up, or that I said as a kid.
Lady E, are you still growing up or are you full grown? Let us know.
I'm still growing up. I'm still growing up. Like, growth should never stop, my opinion. You should always find ways to be better and improve yourself day by day. But no, as a kid, I wanted to be a chef.
Oh wait, you could get down in the kitchen, Lady
I
E, or
can, but I'm
not?
not a chef. Like, I don't have a restaurant or anything of that nature. I've never even worked in a kitchen, of fast food or anything like that. So,
Okay. I see. I was going to take it the wrong way and spin a different narrative. I was like, Lady
You
E.
know, you know, McDonald's and Burger King is still hiring if you want to get down like that.
you know what? Flipping these pills actually pay better. So,
Okay. So the pill flipper was the best get, but just not something that you wanted. Which okay, then that leads to me like a follow up question, then right, and then ruthless truth, and then we'll get to you. But then Lady E, right? Um, Looking back, right, as a you know, pill supplier, do you look back and sometimes think like or wish or maybe regret like, man, I wish I had took a little bit more time, even though like the career I have pays more, but if I could go back and have my own restaurant as a chef, will you try to go back in time for that?
most definitely, I have a passion for cooking. And
Hmm.
actually, before I got pregnant with my son, I was working with family members to actually make my way to Europe
Oh,
to
okay.
do some, studying and going to school out there. But then I popped up pregnant, and everything changed.
I see. Hmm. Well, okay. Before
I,
and
I
thanks
got
for your
I got a question real quick. I got a question real quick, Lady E. So, Lady E, like, if you had the chance to like do it now, right? To make it happen, like to open up the restaurant and all that, would you take that chance? Like, or is it something that you probably would like do in the future?
So I definitely see myself doing something in the future, even like having a food truck. Like at this point in life where I just want to live life simply. I'm getting irritated with the fast paced life in America, and I just really want to slow things down.
Kind of like off the grid in a sense.
Yeah.
Got
So
you.
I
I got
even
you.
thought about getting me one of those little tiny houses. Like, I really want to downsize everything.
okay. Wow. I mean, well, hmm. Okay. Hold that thought, Lady E. Right, because I hear someone right, from a window. Is the raindrops really falling from the sky? not tonight, but we have Miss She Stole My Thunder. So salutes to you. You know, Miss
She stole my
Lady,
thunder.
you know, thank you for tuning in. And welcome back, Big Rigs. The
Big Rick, what up?
Big Rigs. I forgot to pin the link to the top, so let me make sure I do that.
Lady E, what was you saying? You were about to say something.
I don't know.
You're talking about living off the grid now. Now, hold on. Are you trying
Oh,
to
I
live?
said I wanted to even get like one of those tiny houses, like downsize, just really live simply.
She pretty much want to leave her mansion. That's what she was saying.
Now she's trying.
Mhm.
Hey, you trying to? You on the run from somebody, Lady E? Is this what you trying to tell us? You on the
No.
run? If you're on the run, just let us know, yo. We got you. You know what I'm saying? You got to run away like that.
Ain't nobody to run from. Nobody to run from.
All right, I had to check. I had to check. All right, we gotta get to Brother Ruthless Truth. You know what I mean? Go ahead, M3. I know you had the question for him.
Yeah, so the same question still applies, right? Because we're still in the beginning. But Ruthless Truth. So have you ever fulfilled, and if my mic is loud, let me know. Have you ever fulfilled your
Now you
childhood?
good?
Okay, thanks. So have you fulfilled your childhood aspirations?
No. Ultimately, no, because I want to be an NBA player, right? So, no. Also NFL. So a lot of things I didn't do.
Okay,
Um,
okay.
If I had a chance to do it all over again,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I want to go to the NBA, go in the draft with Kobe, right? I always wanted to play with Kobe. We were around the same, but in aspects of as certain things I wouldn't do all over again, though. The wisdom which I've gained from my journey is more valuable than an NBA contract. And yeah, because I know a lot of my friends and associates who didn't make it even to be 18 years old, right? I've seen some who are in a lot more, I would say, uncomfortable positions, right?
Mm-hmm.
So looking back, I say, would I do it all over again just to have my selfish ambitions as far as the fame and the sport that I love? Yeah. But at this point right now, the wisdom which I've gained is far more greater, and the peace that I have, right, in my life is far more valuable than the ultimate lust of my mind. Because the things I seen when I was young, I was a little boy, right? And I really didn't have the full knowledge of what came with that. It was just, ooh, I seen Jordan, right? I want to be that, and I wanted to do this. But now that I'm here, I can say, I made it. I mean, that is, I'm healthy, I'm alive, and I feel that I'm retired at this point, so I do feel have a success, right? I don't have to work. I travel, see the world and stuff like that. And then I'm on here talking to streams with you guys because I have the time to do it, and I am thankful for that.
Right. And salutes to the notorious Ruthless Media. So shout outs to you, AR. Thank you for tuning in.
Yo, what up, man?
AR, if you want to come up, feel free to come up and have this discussion. The link is pinned to the top. It's open for anyone, Okay, so Ruthless Truth, right?
I'm holding it down, dog. I'm holding it down. Hey, I'm holding it down.
All right, thank you, appreciate it. So, all right, so Ruthless Truth. My question is, right? Well, what if the circumstances or the life lessons could still be applied if you had made it to the NBA or the NFL? A lot of times we think that, okay, just because we haven't achieved our childhood aspirations, and I'm not knocking you for what you're saying, right? Because everything happens for a reason. I'm just giving just like a little twisted scenario.
Right.
Because what if you did made it, and then you still learn certain type of lessons that can still help you to grow.
Well, it it'd have been a different, right? Because going. Let's just say,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
I go a couple years of college. I get to the NBA, go to the joint. See, then the smaller things, the ups and downs, right? I wouldn't have
Mm-hmm.
so much worried about as far as I would say the more realistic way of living. So
Yeah.
I would have been now living for someone else, right? Because once you sign a contract, you're now signing your life over,
Yeah.
and for them to do as they please. If they want to, you might get in there, they might not even play. You might sit the bench for 5, 6 years, or you might be a journeyman, right? Get up, you're going over here. You're just basically enslaved for someone is looking at you as goods and
Yeah.
services. So
Mm-hmm.
now, once again, when I was a kid, I didn't think like that. I think, oh, shots on the ball. But now that I watched how I hear NBA player stories and stuff like that, and you might have a point that could I applied, maybe learn from that I'm not just a goods and I'm not just a service. I have a lot more substance to my character.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly, right? Could I have gained wisdom from that lifestyle? Perhaps, right? And I'm not saying that because obviously, like I said, if I do it again, I'll say I do it that way, right?
Yeah.
So, but once again, we all. I mean, even my guy Kobe, right, when he got the rape allegations, and he had to learn from that. He had to learn from that, and that was a lot. And he grew from that. And then him and his wife was on the unstable, right? And they ended up working it out and stuff like that. So, yeah. So apply that to me, right? Same thing. Let's just say, right? Learning from mistakes, life mistakes still happens, even though I'm playing the NBA. So yeah, you're right. So I do agree with you. I'm agreeing with you. Said yeah, if I was an NBA player making all that money, I could still be learning from the things in life that I need to be learning from.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Of course, like most definitely. And also too, so also add into this, right? Because I know you made a comment earlier about like some people um are not able to really live, past 18, and I know like growing up for us, once we had reached up to like 18 to like 21, that was like a huge celebration for us because we're like, wow, dang, we graduated from you know uh you know violence, gang violence, whatever it is. We just pretty much survived, from where we was from. So, in other cases, it is a blessing, right, to still be alive. Even if I would say, for instance, even if the person, right, even if right now a person may be stuck in a rut, or a person may be feeling like, man, I didn't really accomplish anything in life. But for now, we're still alive. That's still like the biggest blessing. And as long as we're still living, we have chances to start over. We have chances to make things right for ourselves. Salutes to Rush. Thank you for tuning
Rush,
into.
what's good, baby?
Yeah.
Salute to Rush and the Labudo Network. Support the Labudo Network. He going
Mhm.
live tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Y'all check him out. You know what I mean? Along with myself and others. You know what I mean?
You heard? Make sure y'all stay sucker free though.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. But anyways, what about you, Mr. Best? And thank you, Ruthless Truth.
For myself, yeah, and thank you for the truth and Lady E for both of y'all sharing. For myself, um, nah, man, I wanted to be a cop until I realized like you could die. So I was like, I'm cool. You know what I mean? Like it looked cool on TV. You know what I'm saying? Seeing the cops and doing things in that nature. But when I figured out like people could shoot you back and cops actually die, I was like, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Like, but yeah, as a little kid, I wanted to be a police officer so bad. Oh my gosh. Like you couldn't tell me I wasn't gonna be a police officer. Like, you know what I mean? Like That's. I was like, anybody ask me which one be a police officer, like I would tell them off the top. I was fascinated with like movies like RoboCop and Die Hard and all that other shit, and it fascinated my mind so much. I thought I could be that. You know what I mean? You're a little kid, so you seeing you seeing RoboCop with the big ass gun, and you seeing Bruce Willis and shit jumping out of skyscrapers. You want to do that shit too. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, once I found out the reality of what that meant, I was like, I'm cool. So yeah,
Hey man, all you gotta do is just put on like a bulletproof like metal suit. You'll
nah,
be
man,
good, bro.
nah, that's fantasy. Salute the Queen. Queen, good to see you.
Salute, salute.
So
So
Hey,
Queen is
Queen.
here, baby. The Queen is here.
okay. So Queen, right?
Yes,
So just
sir.
to let you know the topic. The topic is: have you fulfilled your childhood aspirations?
Yes, some of them.
Some of them. Okay, okay.
Yes.
What are some of your most accomplished aspirations?
The field I'm in. At an early age, I knew I wanted to be. I wanted to be like maybe an entertainer. I wanted to be a dancer or like theater. 'Cause I love.
Mm-hmm.
My mama said I was very dramatic. So I danced with. I had some opportunities as a young person up until the age of 13, maybe about 15, to dance and get taught by some of the top choreographers, and Michael Peters, who uh, choreographed for Michael Jackson. He was a teacher a few
Mm-hmm.
times. Um,
Okay.
Ben Vereen, he was a dancer. I got to meet, oh my gosh, what's that? The tap dance guy. Forgot his name.
Tap dancing.
Gregory Hines.
Gregory Hines. Yes, got I was taught by him a few
Mm-hmm.
times. Got to meet him backstage and dance on some big stages. So yeah. Um as far as dancing, I felt like I did it up to I wanted to do it. So I didn't want to do it anymore, but definitely the field I'm in. I wanted to be when I stopped wanting to be a dancer, I wanted to be like a social worker. So yeah.
Okay, okay,
Yep.
that's what's up.
Yeah.
Isn't it like Julia Arts in New York too?
Mhm.
All right, that's
Yeah.
like more like
And
the best. Mm-hmm.
one of the ladies who had the dancing school, if she was called Bernice Johnson. Uh, a lot of the some of the kids that were in some of the other classes, the older kids, they were in Fame and different movies, and they danced with my Debbie Allen and stuff. So yeah,
Yeah.
you never knew who was gonna come by that dancing school, even though it was in the hood.
Mm-hmm.
There was plenty of people on the wall, and they would literally just show up to the dancing school and teach us classes and stuff. So and they was like, you know who that is? I'm like, he ain't nobody. And I was like, oh my gosh, I dance with somebody that knew Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Of course, I was in trouble. I got in trouble. I was chewing gum while I was dancing. And he told me to spit my gum out, and I was like, anyway. So,
Mm-hmm.
but had to give attitude.
Why you always getting in trouble? Why you always getting in trouble?
I don't know. I just enjoyed it. It was fun. It's not fun anymore. I'm over it. But
All right. Salutes to
Mm.
Manic Genius. I see you in the chat as well too.
Man, the genius was good, man.
He said, whenever I hear a woman say she wants to be a dancer entertainer, he thinks strippers. I swear I was raised better. But man, you gotta get the strippers out your mind, man. You know?
no, that's called these day and era.
These what?
It's called today's society.
Oh, today's society. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
The link is pinned to the top. Anybody want to tune in, feel free to come up. Well, I guess I gotta get to myself, right? Um, and he's like, "What y'all?" So, what up, y'all? Yeah, definitely, salute. Um, so for me, I always wanted to be two things. I wanted to be a artist, okay, cartoon artist, and I wanted to be a actor. Most likely, I wanted to do acting or voice acting or whatever, right? Somewhere in the entertainment field. And although like I never really got paid for any work that I've done, most of the things I've done was just pretty much projects for school. But I could say that in some cases, like, I did learn animation. I did cartoon animation, clay animation. I did voice acting. I did everything on my own. Um, and looking back, like I wish like YouTube existed as I was a kid, because I would have been uploading a lot of content from that. But I don't have the content to show. We had like a VHS camcorder at the time, and I pretty much, as a kid, re-recorded all my stuff to watch wrestling tapes. Yeah. So, and as far as for the acting thing, like, I did go to school for acting. So that was pretty much like a plus, but I just never really just kind of like pursued it. So I have some type of experience under my belt, but one that I could kind of say is the things that I've learned actually applies to here, because I do a lot of thumbnails and I put on a good show for you guys as well too. So I guess you could say like I'm still living up to my dream. I'm just not getting paid for it because YouTube has not monetized us yet. So that's where we're at.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has dreams, right?
Mm-hmm.
And but yet, from quickly how the dream starts to become a method of survival, and that is where that's whether you either you're going to shape out to be a man or a woman or a girl, or you're going to be someone that just can't deal with it. But ultimately, a dream comes with the element of survival. An element of survival comes element of preservation. And these things, are so prevalent in our day to day, dealing with the mental health and stuff like that. So a lot of us has been through, seen a lot of things in this journey, and from this journey, we all learned that we as a people have to take what we can from as a grain of salt and add to our little toolbox and just be happy and satisfied with where we at in life.
So I got a question, and I'm glad you built up on that, Mr. Ruthless Truth. I got a question, y'all. So my question is, does our childhood trauma does it change our childhood aspirations? Like, does it change us? Like, we wanted to be something, and then we went through things in life, and it was like, nah, I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? Or, you know, based on things we went through as a child, could it encourage us to be that? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so what part does our upbringing bring? What part does that play a part in our aspirations? So anybody could answer that.
I'll say this though. I think with like grow up in public schools where like people used to joke on you a lot or tease or whatever. You kind of like lose that little confidence about yourself. And I remember one time my teacher wanted me to showcase my work. I had the clay characters. I had the VHS tape, and I did a little bit of voice acting. But I got so insecure, like with my voice, I wasn't for sure like how I would actually sound, because usually I know how I sound when I'm actually talking, but you know, when you're recording yourself on a microphone, it's a little bit different. And I just remember I just told my teacher not to play the tape. He was disappointed. I was disappointed in myself as well too. But I got nervous. This was before. This was before like getting to like theater arts that kind of helped me to be out of myself. But I was pretty much a super introverted type of kid because I had a lot of stuff going on that I didn't know how to really express. So that kind of translated into like my art. And one day I noticed that when I give up on something, that trickles down to many other things like in life. So from that point, I just pretty much threw all my clay characters away, and I just pretty much hung up like with animation because of that. So yeah.
Mm, great story and through great story. Anybody else?
Um, my thing's about to die, so I'm gonna get off for in a minute to charge up. But I think it can and it can't. Like I think it all depends on the individual. Um, yeah. I mean, I do believe childhood traumas, um, if they continue to go undealt with, they become adult traumas that linger and hinder and direct your life in a different direction. But um, I've seen kids go through a lot, and they're freaking amazing adults to this day. I've seen kids go through nothing, and they're having a very hard time. You know, so it depends on what that child could handle and what kind of support they have around them. I've seen kids who are homeless living in a um, train station bathroom, and they're in medical school now. You know, they never stop studying. They never, you know. So, and I've seen kids who grow up in the suburbs and they're in jail now. So, yeah. So I just think it depends. Yeah.
Okay, I'll jump in here. What is trauma, right? That's the question, right? What is the, I
Well,
mean,
it's how did your upbringing affect you going after your childhood dreams? You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. Well, and a lot of my dreams that I had, I put in the work for it. Like my man over here, center M3, I was a basketball player, so I was play basketball all day. I practiced, shoot 500 shots. I was all in. My mom got me a ball. I was, but so my ambitions, and the things I wanted, and what I want. I would say my upbringing was telling me be patient, work hard, it'll come. But my ambitions wanted retribution right away. So I wouldn't blame my upbringing. I do have the only reason I won't say my upbringing has dictated my life, because I will accept accountability for everything that happened in my life, right? I'm a man of accountability. So therefore, every responsible action that I took in this journey I was aware of consequences versus whatever I got for it, whatever reward I got for it, I was willing to accept that. So I really want to say, to agree with Queen forever, it depends on the individual, right? Some people use that as an excuse to be something they already want to be, right? Some people want to come up and say, oh, I want to be this, but then they get made fun of. They care about what people think, and they use that as an excuse to maybe go in a whole different direction that may not be profitable for them. But I'll say this, at the end of the day, right, I'm responsible for my thoughts, my actions. And I'm not, maybe when I was younger, I did blame society, right? I blamed society. I used to blame America, 40 acres and a mule, all that stuff. I would, as far as me wanting to be, aspiring to be something, and it was a little hard, got a little rough. So I was like, oh man, America is hard on me, or they're racist, whatever. That was just my excuse I was using because I really didn't want to do the work. But as once again the journey continued on, I learned not that that's not good enough, right? I have to be accountable and responsible for what I put out and what people get back. And when I want people to see me, I want them to see me as maybe not an inspiration, but as someone, as a stand-up individual. And I guess that's pretty much all I got to say.
I wanted to add this really quickly, and then I'm gonna hop off because my thing needs to charge up. I wanted to say that um, I think children and their trauma, to me, the lasting effects of it is when they don't have an outlet to be nurtured and foster a sense of support and self-confidence. So if they don't have that teacher at the school who's like, no, Johnny, you got this, blah, blah, blah. If they don't have the after school program or the community center, if they don't have the uncle or the next door neighbor, or, you know, I think that's when it gets a little rough sometimes. Because, when you look at different things kids have to endure, some of the traumatic things I've seen is that it's usually the trauma is not as detrimental as when they have a safe outlet, some space. There's some space where they feel that nurturing um, nature of a parent is fostered some way. So, because I can't say that, oh, all kids are going to be okay with what they go through. Some kids, their environment, it destroys them, and sometimes it doesn't. But it's when they have to me, when they have a safe space to still be a kid and get that glimpse of the hope, like that light at the end of the tunnel. Everyone needs that, so especially children. So yeah, if they don't have that, I feel like it will destroy them. Trauma.
Mm, good point, Queen. Queen, charge up your thing, come back. You know what I mean? You could just plug up your thing, but whatever. I'm messing with you, Queen. She'll be back. But salute to Big Rick Slaps and the Rush. You know what I'm saying?
Salute, you guys.
Salute, salute.
Mhm. All right, cool, man. So, thank you guys for tuning in, Riggs and Rush. Best, should we ask them like the first question?
Yeah, yeah, ask them the first and then yeah. And then they they can answer, we could just drop the second question. I think Lady E wanted to answer that after that because she was up
Oh,
next.
oh, my bad. Let me get to Lady E real quick. I'm sorry,
No, but
Lady E.
they can answer the first question unless you just want to ask Lady E the second one. I don't know.
Okay, well, it's up to her because I didn't want to like skip her, But I think she's back there quiet or probably asleep anyway. So, Riggs, I'm gonna
Yeah.
ask you. I'm gonna ask you the first question. Have you ever fulfilled like your childhood aspirations?
Um, yeah, man. I grew up, heavy in the hip hop era. So like, I was really into, the rap scene, rap music, making music, being a DJ, and I accomplished those things. I did music with
Mhm.
numerous people. I was in the studio with Zap before he died. I
Mm.
opened up for Run DMC. You know what I'm saying, when Jam Master Jay was still alive at Shoretime, Maritime, I think, Hall in Frisco,
Okay.
Shoreline, Maritime, something. But but that was dope. You know what I'm saying? Everything that I wanted to do as a kid. You know what I'm saying? I did. When it comes to the second part, I'll wait till we get around to that, because
Yeah.
that's when the turn. That was dope how you kind of brought that up, because then a little trauma comes in, and then there's a turn in situations. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right. All right. Well, thank you for sharing, Rick. So we'll definitely get back to you once we get to
Thanks, Big
everything.
Rig, Big Rig, Big Brother. You already know.
Mm-hmm.
Off top.
Big brother slaps. But all right, Russ. What about you?
I had a decent childhood, had both parents involved. Father's a great dude. Anything I wanted to get into, he was right there behind me, helping me out and giving me good guidance on how to handle certain things. I mean, so I would say I accomplished certain things that I'm content with. I mean,
All right, all right. I could dig that. All right, that's what's up. So, Lady E, are you awake? Lady E?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, okay, okay. Just make sure you're not snoozing, but
I'm on my way there.
all right. Don't hop on the sleep train yet, okay? Um, so the number two question, and Bess, do you mind if you elaborate the question again?
I was saying, I was saying that, how did your upbringing affect you? You know, completing your childhood aspirations. Like, how did it affect you at all, whether in a positive or negative way?
Salute, Chris.
um,
hey,
Mm-hmm. Okay, E?
it it affected me tremendously, probably not in the best way. And it's a conversation that I had with Beth. I grew up with both parents in the household. Unfortunately, their upbringing wasn't perfect. My mother lost both of her parents by the time she was 15, and my dad lost his father when he was about 6 or 7 years old. So there was a lot of missing pieces. So the nurturing aspect wasn't really there for me growing up. I kind of just had to figure out a lot of things on my own. I had to rely on, I guess you would have to say, I had to rely on support from other people. Not saying that my parents did not support me; they did the best that they could with what they had. Um, I sometimes used to feel like that they could do more, but as grew older and had a better understanding, I had to learn that they did the best that they could with what they had.
Yeah, I could dig it. And Lady E, and thank you
Mm,
for sharing too, though. By the way.
that was dope, lady. Definitely, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Got to give a shout out to my man Grizz. Grizz, what up? What up? So Grizz, did you have you fulfilled your childhood aspirations? Like basically, you know, did you do what you think that you was gonna be doing? You know, when you grew up, like you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes we want to be, firemen or policemen or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Or athletes or things of that nature. Like, did you fulfill your childhood dreams and your goals and your aspirations?
I can say I'm literally working on that right now. Because ever since I was 17 years old, everything watching Darkwing Duck, Tailspin,
You
um,
break it up.
Dog and Damn movies, Wesley Snipes movies, watching cartoons. I did one check last year when I actually did a voiceover for one of my friends' cartoons. Um, and
Hey, him.
I actually and also too, I'm
You
actually
break it up,
showing one of
Grizz.
my friends. Huh?
You break it
Yeah,
up.
Grizz, you breaking up, dog.
You gotta go in and come back out.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. You gotta go in and come back out.
Yeah, you still breaking up.
Okay. Let me leave right quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could kind of hear him. Just he's just a little choppy. That's all. To Yaris's comment, thank you for sharing. By the way, she says I wanted to be related with field games and technology when I was younger, and no, I am a and no, I am a software developer and I stream video games. I can't ask for more. So, you know, Yaris definitely it's wonderful to hear stories like this that people are living up to like their aspirations, and even the ones who are not living up to their aspirations. Um, you know, as long as you're still happy with where you're at in life, and if you ever feel like you want to do more, I mean, you can always set your mind to it. There's always going to be opportunities that's out there. Some just going to push harder than others. But it just depends on what you want. But salute to yours. I mean, Yaris.
This is like,
All right, Grizz.
Yeah, mic check.
All right, it's a little bit better. But go ahead, Grizz.
Oh, so what I was saying was, like I said, ever since I was like 10, 15, 10, 7, 10, when I was youngster to teenage years, like watching Wesley Snipes, Bruce Lee, Chuck Norris, Steven Seagal, like watching movies and cartoons and TV shows. Like I've always wanted to do that, and I'm slowly doing that. I'm literally slowly doing that now. I did a voiceover last year for one of my friends for one of his cartoons. I've done just about everything from acting to doing sound. I am a really good DP. I have a lot from being a DP. I literally have 2 production companies that I'm literally working on. Even when I'm not on set, I'm literally working on other. I'm working on other things. I'm working on like 2 short films right now that I want to turn to feature films. But yeah, I say that I'm slowly getting into my aspirations of doing what I really want to do. And because one of my biggest things is having my own studio in the Bay Area.
Say that last part again.
You say he want to have his own studio in the Bay Area, his own film studio.
Okay, that's what's up.
And also too, like one of the biggest things I really want to do is make the Bay Area a bigger entertainment industry, because I found out information that back in the 1800s they were going to make San Francisco and Oakland the very first entertainment industry, but it ended up going to LA today.
Okay. Well, Grizz, I could definitely say, as far as like, I know you, like, you always been focused on your dream. You never gave up. Even though like you have a family now, you still haven't gave up on your aspirations. So I definitely want to say a major salutes to you, and your team as well too. Shout out to Pharaoh and I forgot the other guy's name, but yeah, shout out to you guys, man, for doing what you're doing, man, for Access Entertainment. So keep doing what you're doing, bro.
Salute.
Mm-hmm. And salutes to Melanated Lux as well too.
Melanated Lux, hey family, what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
Melanated Lux, feel free to come up, family.
Link is pinned to the top. All right. Who we forget? Okay. Back to Riggs, right? Okay. What was like some like the traumas that you faced that probably changed like your, what was like your perspective for, like your career choice, I believe?
Yeah. So yeah, kind of back to what I was saying, man. I was heavily into the rap scene, hip hop scene. So what comes with that, you know what I'm saying? The culture. Dr. Dre came out with the Chronic. I started seeing a lot of lowriders. I wanted that. You know what I'm saying? I got that. But it was choices, you know what I'm saying? So it was just like, I kind of, yes, being young and fulfilling all of those things, you know, with the music and getting my foot in the door like that was cool. But just everything that was around me, you know, influenced me to do other things, you know, that just really in honesty hindered me, you know, because time being away and stuff like that, you can never get that time back. So, you know, I did have, you know, traumas in that, you know what I'm saying? I'm still, you know, working through those things uh because of the choices that I made. I didn't, you know, get, you know, certain trades or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like I didn't get any of that. My mind wasn't focused on any of that type of stuff. My mind was focused on other things. I was running, you know, with my boys, you know, record labels, you know, we was putting on shows. I mean, it was really heavy, you know what I'm saying? Like we were really, you know, during the whole hyphy movement, you know what I'm saying? Like we was really like, you know, putting a name out there, you know what I'm saying? It was with a lot of people. So if you grew up during the hyphy movement, you know what that movement was like, you know what I'm saying? So it was just different, man. And you know, it's just I to this day, you know, wish I would have made, you know, some better decisions and been, you know, could have been in a better place that I'm in now, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, that was dope how, you know, you put that on there, you know, because there can be traumas, man, you know what I'm saying, that can hinder you from your childhood too, man. Everything is cool and, you know, you having fun, but, you know, it don't last forever. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, you can't get time back, man, that you lost. You know what I'm saying? So that's about it, man.
Facts.
Oh, sorry, I forgot I was muted. But yeah, unfortunately, that's so true.
Super true. Word.
This is why I usually get and shout outs to like Lady E. Thank you for coming up. This is
Salute to
why the most upsetting
salute to Miss
thing.
Nebraska too. I see her in the building too, bro.
Oh, the Cornhusker. What's up, Miss Nebraska? Come up if you can, fam.
What's going on? What's going on, Miss Nebraska?
You know, one of the things that I think will piss like any man of values time is when it's wasted. So, you know, there's a lot of things that, you know, us men could really do, but we want to make sure that we give enough time for the people that we actually respect, that we actually love. And what hurts people like me is that if time is not being respected, you know, if you show up mad late or you just don't show at all with no communication at all, I take that as a personal offense, to be honest with you. Um, you know, so because now it's like the time that I could have gave to someone else, I gave it to that person and it was wasted. So, you know, people in the chat, I encourage you guys, man, like, you know, when you give your time, make sure it's valued. I'll be right back. I got to answer the door.
Yeah, that time that you lose, man, is definitely a big thing, man. Definitely a big thing. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't get that back, so that's huge.
But time lost can be wisdom learned. And you take the time that you lost and you gain wisdom and improve and move forward in your day to day, you can use that time lost as an advantage. Because sometimes we need to slow down. Sometimes we need to stop. Sometimes sometimes we moving too fast, thinking we got it all figured out. And then that time we just got to sit down for a minute. Sometimes when we sit down for a minute, that's that time to reflect and build and look for a new beginning, right? Because there's so many of us have friends that have not made it to this point, right?
Yeah.
Here, we got to make the best of it.
I'm gonna play this because like, I know I talk about this a lot too. I have a son, and right now he's talking about becoming a scientist. So I'm pushing him to do like doing small experiments here and there, and experiment. Okay, if you burst this, what would happen? What's the cause and effect of this? If you mix the two colors, what would happen? And so, if he still wants to become a scientist, I want to push him. And he says, "Daddy, I want to build a big starship." I'm like, "Okay, you want?" Never mind. He wants to check people's DNA. Never mind.
Yeah, you listen. You don't think you listen? He listening.
Oh yeah. So I mean, so I'm putting like my whole thing, because like I preach to people all the time about, if you want to do something, it's okay. Go do it. It was a childhood dream. You're and I don't fuss nobody's ears. I'm like, look, if you happen to fail, then what did you learn? How can you do this again in a different way? Because a lot of people are afraid. A lot of aspirations is people are afraid to fail.
Yeah.
And
you know,
I'm
just to piggyback off you, right?
Yeah.
Some people have. I remember. You remember QueBee when he first shot against Utah when he shot the 3 air balls?
Yeah.
Man, he cost me like $500, but he failed.
Oh, wow.
And then from that,
you ain't gonna make it. You ain't gonna make it. You ain't gonna make it. I hope you ain't gonna make it. Bet you won't make it. Oh God, it. But yeah, like I said, one of my biggest goals and aspirations is like after becoming a security guard at the Sacramento Museum and finding out all the film production started in the Bay Area. I'm like, okay, so you went up and moved to LA. I really want, and then the reason why when I said about bringing a Star Walk of Fame to the Bay Area is because I want to start with people who are from the Bay Area first, due to the fact that it'll give these infants to kids, these teenagers, inspiration of, oh wait, that's King the Snake. Oh, that's E40. Wait, hold on. What is Tom Hanks from Concord? Wait, what? Mahershala Ali, who's going to play Blade. He's from Oakland. And Danny Glover, he's from San Francisco, Oakland. But yeah, I want to start working in the Bay Area so I can give kids and even adults inspiration to doing something great. Not just because he's a star basketball player or whatever. It's more because it's more for me. It's more that's gonna be me one day. Because just yesterday it was the Oscars. I posted a picture of an Oscar saying that's gonna be me one day.
But you know what I'm thinking? What I'm thinking about? You want something? You want to say something, Big Rick Slaps?
No, I think Rush didn't get to that second part, but I was just gonna ask you something real quick, Grizz. What are you talking through right now, bro? Are you talking through a mic?
No, my phone.
Is your volume up all the way on your phone?
Yeah, yes it is. And I kept dropping. I think the reason why is because my phone, I dropped it a lot.
See if you can turn the volume down just a little bit, and if you talk, maybe it might stop the clipping.
Let me check. Let me try that. What about now?
Yeah.
It's still clipping, but it's a little better. It's just when you talk, it's just really cutting in and out.
What about now?
Yeah, it's still kind of doing it, but it's a little bit better. It's probably just your phone, like you say. But no, that's all, bro. I wasn't trying to stop you or nothing like that.
Okay.
No, I was wanting to go into the homie Big Rig Slap said when he lost that time.
Yeah.
You know that is not really lost if you learn from it.
Bro.
No, that's a fact, bro. I didn't I didn't really, get all into, the basis of everything of that. Just, I kind of just, kind of short-lined it, but that's a definite fact, bro. And with every time that was lost, I was, things that I didn't do, I did. So I accumulated my GED. You know what I'm saying? I accumulated, all kind of different type of certificates and such. You know what I'm saying? And so it was cool. You know what I mean? I definitely, you know what I'm saying? I actually had a high paying so-called job, you know what I'm saying, while I was in there because of the things that I accomplished, you know what I'm saying? So, that's a definite fact, bro. I'm all for turning a negative, you know what I'm saying, into a positive, bro. Not just sitting up there being like, "Woe is me," and you know what I'm saying. That ain't it, man.
Yeah.
You feel me?
I just was, that's why I was piggybacking off you, right?
Right.
In that sit down, right? That's what I call it, a sit down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? May not be where we want to sit down, but it's a sit down. And from there, once again, the building doesn't have to stop. You know, now like you said, GED, then you're able to see a more clearer path now. You know, all that time thinking help you to say, you know what? You know, I can do it like this, and I can do it like that. You got more confidence now. You're actually in like a college almost, right? Because you think about it, average college student, that's all they're doing is learning, right? They're not really, right? They're like in a trap from the world. That's why a lot of people get out of college don't understand why nobody want to hire them, because it's lost time to the world, right? But with the wisdom they gained from it, right? That's what was the valuable lesson, and that was how to create structure, right? Become more formidable to the system, like you said, GED, then going to work every day, getting that routine, maybe all those things. Like growing up, we just rebellious. We just doing, oh, well, I want it the fast way. I want it this way or that way. But then when you're in that situation, it actually programs you to, you know what? I can do it this way and I'm not going to die. You know what I mean? I can do it this way and I can still feel good about myself. So when you walk out into the world, you now have gained the valuable treasure which help you now to survive. And that surviving is building that structure where you was at, and all you had to do is implement it right when you walk to the streets. And you fit right in like a glove. You fit right in like a glove. When you got your job, right? You built your program. You know what I'm saying? Built your program. And here you are today, right? So, and I can feel, because I can relate to you coming from a man who's done extraordinary amount of time, right? So, yeah, but it taught me patience. Taught me, because you got to be long suffering up in there. You know what I mean? It's hard, right?
You're gonna for sure learn some patience.
You got to be
long definitely for sure learn that.
Because once again, in there, it ain't no guarantee that you're coming out.
That's a fact.
So, once again, it's a sit down that some of us, not all of us, but some of us took from that. We grew and we moved forward, and we're still pushing forward, and we're not turning back.
That's a fact.
But everybody can use this lesson in life, right? Even the people who haven't been where we've been, Big Slaps, right? Even the people out here who take us for granted, always crying and complaining about everything, right? A little trip in life, they want to point fingers, about, oh, it's your fault, and not understanding that you can learn from that. And then they have to do it in a different way, but at the end of the day, it's a sit down, right? Because they might go back to the bottom of their life, right? Some people are homeless, some people whatever. But at the end of the day, those who can take it all in and take it as a vocal point of growth and create and get equity from it, then we can reinvest in ourselves so that we can be someone that's hireable, someone that we can communicate with, even start a relationship, right? All these things as life is a goals and set, and life shapes us sometimes to the bad, but in some cases, sometimes to a more productive individual able to execute our plans.
Yeah, everything you're saying is correct, bro.
So Rush, man, you know what I mean? I don't know if you answered the other question.
No, Rush didn't get to the second part.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I guess one of the traumatic things I went through is probably the death of my mother. She died in front of me. But you know, like it ain't stopped me from moving forward and making some ill moves or whatever. It is what it is, man. You know what I mean? You deal with a death, and sometimes it takes time to get over the death, especially when it's a immediate family member like your mother. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the big one, bro. For real.
But
For real,
once again,
for real.
it's like everything happens for a reason sometimes, right? I know when I lost everything, I was so sad, right? And my fiance, different things I lost that were part of my life. But through that loss, I gained wisdom. I gained strength, right? I became stronger because understanding that, yeah, it's cool to have people that you love in your life and people that you care about. But, death is just something that's guaranteed to us, to everybody, right? And you never know when it's going to come. But when it happens, we can grieve and we can pay our salutes, but we still keep pushing forward. We carry the legacy on. And that, once again, we learn from that and we grow from that.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that. And I guess whatever don't kill you makes you stronger. Quote unquote. Um, yeah, man. People go through certain trials and tribulations in their life, and it makes them. Well, it probably makes them either a better individual to help out others, or they might be stuck on that the I guess the hurt portion of that situation, and people might lash out of certain things that they go through. Know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, I feel that too because there's times in my life, right, that I used to blame the government, and that was my reason for justifying my irresponsible acts. But ultimately, it came back to me, right? When I went to bed at night, when I woke up in the morning and looked at that mirror, it was me. And I had to understand that, you know what? How many times are you going to point the finger? The first thing I had to learn is to accept responsibilities and accountability for my actions. And anything that happens around me, I take as a grain of salt. Now, I hope all my loved ones make it to live their lives. But if something happens, then once again, I can't use that as an excuse to give up. Because it's not about giving up. It's about pushing forward and preservation, self-preservation. And this is where we as men, sometimes we get emotional. Yeah. I don't know why these talking points, oh, men, females get emotional. And we men, we get emotional too. Sometimes we want to close the door, go in the room and beat on our chest a little bit and a couple tears drop. But when we come out that room, we're stronger than we were 5 minutes ago, an hour ago, or a day ago. And everything comes back to understanding that we all can learn from life. We can all grow from life. Nobody's perfect, right? Nobody's better than nobody here. We all got our situations. But once again, we don't have to soak in it and point fingers and blame people. We just grow from it and become better.
Yeah, most definitely. I agree with you on that. I mean, yeah, man. I mean, yo, sometimes, I'm gonna use this analogy, but you know how you clean gold, right? You clean gold by putting it through the fire so it could be refined. And sometimes, we got to go through the fire to be refined.
Yeah,
And all the life lessons we go through, you just take that wisdom and experience and edify yourself and others. Know what I mean? Whether if
yeah,
you're a father or uncle, you share that wisdom to better, not only better yourself but better your community. Know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. And for those who need it, you got it there for them to use.
Yeah, and that's a fact. Cause whatever life lessons you've been through, man, you never know, man. The information that you get from that life experience could save another individual life. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
Food for
Or
thought.
or, or even your relationship.
So I got another question, y'all. Do y'all feel like the kids now? You feel like they got it easier? You know what I'm saying? To get their goals and dreams accomplished, or they got it easier, or y'all feel
No,
like they got a rougher road?
I think they got a rougher road. And I'm to add the context to that, because it seems more easier now. It's the goal is seem more closer, more, and everybody wants to take the shortcut. So yeah, it's rougher, a lot more influence, music. Um, Women are more demanding, right? You want a wife, you gotta be that dude. The society pressure is at an all-time high right now, right? Women don't even want to date you. They're looking at you're measured by your resources. You know, where back in the day, if you had a little game and a little cachet about yourself, you can get around that. But now it's just society with all the rapping and all the music, everything, and so much money to go around. Those who don't have it, which is the majority, they're still held to that standard. So yeah, it's more harder and it's more tough for them now because it's more pressure. The standards have been raised, right? Less excuses can be given now. So I really think that's why the spike in crime is so high, especially out here in California. Um, Dudes are doing by any means, and just an average job saving up money is still the way to go. But once again, the pressures from society, our women, our children, everybody looking to us or looking to you. It's a great amount of burden, and temptation sets in, right? Or the get it done quickly or quicker or the shortcut is more available and ready available. So it's to me, to answer the question, it's way more tougher now.
I agree on that. And also I want to chime in with this. If it's cool for y'all, if I could interject real quick, I mean, it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Inflation, hyperinflation is around the corner. To be able to purchase a home, you know, it's kind of expensive. It's not even feasible for the younger generation to purchase a home. It's definitely not affordable. You know what I mean? And they got to deal with that. You know, they got to deal with the repercussions of the mistakes that the people that was up top making certain decisions like going to war. ex- You know, there's immense of things that popped off that caused this ripple effect for the youth to have a harder time on the come up. But not only it is hard from that aspect, but there is different avenues to make bread. Like there is a lot of young millionaires on the come up. Know what I mean, because they have like real innovative ideas in the tech scene. Know what I mean, but other
Yeah.
than that, it's definitely hard for the youth to come up because things is getting more expensive now. You know.
Facts. Well, let
I
me just say this.
disagree. I disagree.
Well, you know what? Well, let me say this real quick, Rex. Right? Like, I think kids have a lot more easier than what
That's
we
what I'm
have.
saying.
You know,
So it's a lot.
how
It's a lot easier.
hmm it's
They have
even
way more resources.
yeah.
They
Hold
they
on.
they're way more knowledgeable. But go
Yeah,
ahead. Go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah,
Do your
yeah. Hold on,
thing.
hold on. Let me expound, Riggs. Right? I know you're old school, so you're ready to cook. But but the thing is, the reason why and Riggs did this stole my part, right? They do have way more resources, okay, and opportunities. You know, however, the competition is very high at the same time. But you know, you still have better opportunities. As far as career advancements, like I can name I'll just name just a few of them because right now there's so many that we have at our fingertips. All you got to do is pretty much learn how to use a computer. That's it. Learn how to use technology because that's going to take you places. Learn how to use technology. That's one of the simple things for children of today. And in adulthood, learn how to drive. Okay, because you will be traveling to get to work. but you have options to like invest in money. You have options to use certain websites, okay, that you could just type in. Okay, there's like artificial intelligence, like AI stuff that you could just type in and say, "Hey, can you write me a resume?" And it will just type it out for you, like no cap, and you just fix it the way how you want to fix it. Back then, every place you go, you gotta go ahead and sign, gotta sign this, gotta sign that, you know. But you have automated stuff that can help you to fill things out for you. And I'm just only speaking on one aspect out of dozens and dozens of opportunities for people to make. It's to a point that there's really no excuse for why somebody does not have a job. Even if it's not at the best high paying job that most people are looking for, but to have a job, period, I don't know. It speaks a lot of volumes if you don't have one in this day of time. Now, I can't say for um, like the price of living. So yeah, living expenses is pretty high, especially it varies through each state. But yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Go ahead, Ricks. Cost of living, that's what's called, man.
No, it's just when it comes to almost everything, bro. When it comes to the music thing, I came up in the music era doing all that type of stuff. We had to do so much footwork and so many things. You don't got these youngsters; they don't got to go through that no more. When it comes to jobs and everything like that, if you go into a lot of these places, man, it's a lot of younger people, man, that are working. And then when we was working back in the days, we was getting paid marbles, bro. They can work at McDonald's right now and get paid $16. Now, yeah, the price of everything is definitely different, but at the same time, if you in high school and you working at McDonald's, which I had partners doing that, when I was in high school, and you making $16, bro, you actually kind of bringing a little bags home every week, every 2 weeks, you know what I'm saying, with no bills, you know what I mean? So it's just a lot easier, man, a lot more different programs. And what I meant by knowledge is, with the computers and everything, man, there's so many things that they can learn that we really weren't learning and weren't even into because of culture wise. It's like these youngsters now, they kind of go getters, bro. You know what I mean? They own houses, they get houses, they team up and everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot different, man. And yes, there is competition, like you say, but at the same time, if we're gonna talk about it being like harder or easier, I think it's a little bit more easier for these youngsters today than what it was for us coming up and doing things.
Yeah.
And then I just want to say,
wait, hold on for 1 second, Ruthless. Hold on, Queen. Just make sure that's you.
Yeah, it's me.
Okay. Just make sure nobody ain't trying to hack your account. You was looking suspicious backstage.
Damn, people be putting up fake pictures, bro.
No,
man, they be getting down like that,
Yeah, no, it's me. Ain't nobody coming out here.
Good evening, Luke Casely. Thank
Good
you.
evening, Luke Casely. Good to see you.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm sorry, Ruthless Truth. Go ahead.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, it's definitely more resources. I'm not disagreeing with that, and it's definitely easier. It seemed like right, more opportunity. But once again, right, the temptations that are even higher because of the access of what appears to be. So yeah, is it? But it's harder because it's more pressure. That's what I'm saying, right? Society right now, once again, just to get a date, or women, the way they look at you, right? They're more so looking at your status. They're looking at what you can bring to the table. What can you do for them?
That's touching on that. That's touching on that, like red blue pill type stuff. But like, I could get it when y'all start talking that, but in real life, bro, like where I'm around and everything, I don't, the women don't, I'm sure there's a lot of women that be on that page like that, but I don't really know what kind of women that these guys is trying to be around, man. I mean, if you're around women that kind of look and judge for you to have all these type of things like that, then I kind of think that's the surroundings, bro. But I don't really be seeing too many women with that type of attitude, man. They pretty much be on go, man. If you treat them nice and be right and respectful, you know what I'm saying?
Hey,
That
Big
shit
Rig.
go a long way.
Hey, Big. I mean, I don't know if you watch the YouTube Spaces. Women are coming out.
But that's what
boldly.
I'm saying, though. You know, it's them YouTube. That's what I'm saying. Like when I see these YouTube things, I see that type of stuff, right? But I'm just saying, like in some real life type, like, and I be around, you know, women and talk to women just in real life, and they be single and all that. You feel me? But they standards don't be on that hype like that, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like how, you know, a lot of these guys be talking, and I'm not saying that there ain't women out there like that, but it's like kind of got to be your surroundings too at the same time, bro. If you surround yourself around women that, you know, maybe kind of high, you know, maintenance and into that type of, you know, lifestyle like that, and you trying to pull them, well, you know, that's a different story.
Yeah, you know, and I'm just saying for us men, the pressure is more because it is incumbent upon us to obtain these things, to be the provider, protector, et cetera, et cetera. And once again, the pressure.
But you're following that guideline of basically being the man, taking care of everything. My woman ain't got to work and all that, right?
I'm just saying the modern woman, right? The modern woman is making her own money now, and she's
Absolutely.
not willing to take care of it. Okay, so for you to get with her, right? She's going to want you to make more than her by a little bit or a substantial amount. So what I'm saying is just, I'm not, once again, the pressure is not. And this is unimplied pressure, Big Rich. You know what I mean? It's like, you know how it is.
I got you.
It ain't more so that the women are just saying it to the face, like, what you got, but it's unimplied pressure. So, and men are taking a lot of risk. We're taking more risk. We get locked up more than ever. A lot of men are taking more, are feeling a lot more used. On women going on free dates and stuff like that, just clowning. So it is, and then as you know, now from our community, as our community, I know when I was growing up, fashion and shame, how much we had was the thing, right? And people look up to you now when you got those things. If you don't have those things, or you're not in that category, people kind of just like shun you. So I'm not going to take too much to it. You said there are some women, there are some people out there that we can do things with, but for the most part, is it easier, right? Is it easier for the generation to get to that situation? I would say, and just in my opinion, with the pressures of society and not taking the shortcuts, I feel it's a little harder because patience is a virtue.
I definitely agree with Ruthless. If I can interject real quick, guys, is it cool?
Go ahead, Rush.
Yeah, like I definitely feel where Ruthless is coming from. He's definitely right. You know, the whole 50-50 aspect of the game, you know, needing to survive with a, you know, I guess a roommate / girlfriend, you know, like women don't really respect that, you know what I mean? And if y'all working towards a relationship like that, you know, and it's official, then you probably got a good one. But 9 times out of 10, you know, they're not with that. You know, they prefer a male to take care of the household, like, you know, pay all the bills and yada yada yada, whatever. And you know, most females, they prefer to, you know, stay at home and do their thing. You know what I mean? Not all of them is designed to, you know, go out there, get the bacon with their significant other. You know what I mean? Now I ain't, you know what I mean, I ain't knocking it, and I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but you know, 9 times out of 10, a female's not gonna respect a nigga that's not holding it down thoroughly. You know what I mean? That's just fact, you know?
Yeah, okay. I see. So we kind of jump from you like careers to relationships. So in a relationships aspect, right? You know, for maybe most but not all, you know, I would say like because the same technology that I was just praising about, right? Of how you have access to all these things, there's always going to be negative consequences as well too, because of technology and people just being lazy. it trickles down into relationships where people don't want a cold approach, but also it's a stem of layers of probably rejection. Men probably getting tired of it, or with women getting tired of, the BS, the lies or the cheating, whatever the case is. Not saying women don't cheat too, but each person has a specific, traumatic experience or some type of experience where it becomes like a life learned lesson or it becomes something that is detrimental to you. And if that's the case, this kind of goes back to a little bit of what Riggs is saying. The topic is, have you fulfilled your childhood aspirations? B-Eazy. But this goes back a little bit to what Big Riggs was saying, okay? Because a lot does have to do with your environment because that's how people end up with their experience. So, in other words, right? Just to talk about like the whole manosphere thing or whatever, when people are talking about how women are acting or how they're having a hard time getting women, I've heard grown dudes like that's like in their 50s that goes through that rhetoric where it's like, okay, you have one job to do, you drop the bag, or pretty much you drop the box or whatever, you cheated, and now you're trying to pay for love. And that doesn't usually works that way.
M3, can I ask you a question, bro?
Mm-hmm.
Because I see what these two gentlemen is talking, right? And I
Okay.
see that they feeling each other, right? Because they on the same page, and that's what I was saying when I said it comes to that red blue pill type talk, right? And
Okay.
that's cool, man. To each their own, bro.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that kills me is that these men are on here really preaching that these women ain't gonna care about you or give a shit about you if you ain't taking care of all of the bills. That is not a fact. There are plenty of homes where both people are working. M3, you are married. Are you working?
Mm-hmm.
Is your wife working?
Yeah, we both work. The
Absolutely. If I ask Queen, she's married,
she's
she's working, and I'm pretty sure her husband is working. So like that's not a fact, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I had to put my parents in there too. They both had great jobs. My dad was a fucking fire chief, first black fire chief. Okay, he's making bread. His wife worked, both of them. You know what I'm saying? He could have took care of
mm-hmm.
everything, but I'm just saying, like, that's not true when they say that. Is that my boy Razik? What's up with it, Razik? But that is not true. You know what I'm saying? You can
Mm-hmm.
be in a relationship with a woman that respects you and loves you and also will pay bills or whatever if need be, but she will definitely work, has no issue with that. You know what I'm saying? And I just think that's wrong for them to say that to these young dudes out there, because to me that's like putting a hell of a like pressure on these men
Yeah, I'm
to
about to
just feel
stay
they have
sucker
to
free.
just.
You know what I mean? I'm not gonna
What's
I'm
that?
not gonna lead I'm not gonna lead the youth into a snare, you know what I mean? I'm about staying sucker free. Staying sucker free is my campaign. You know what I mean?
I know,
I
but how is
definitely
it
we're not
being a
gonna agree
sucker
on
if
this.
if
You know
you
what I
have
mean?
if both of you guys are working? How is there a sucker in there though? How is that being a sucker? Because you saying sucker free, and I'm talking about both people. You know what I'm saying, in a household and they work. Like, there, what's the sucker in that?
Let me give you a big slap. So I'm gonna say this, right? We have numbers, we have statistics, right? Women are leading in divorce, right? They're leading in complaints. They're complaining more about us than we are about them. We're
That's
just
a
trying to get
fact.
off voice back. We're just trying to get off voice back, right? Men want traditional women, and women are no longer traditional, right? This is the big debate on YouTube and throughout the world as we speak. I'm not blue pill or red pill, right? I'm just facts of life, right? And me being out here on the scene, women are like like I work out at a gym, right? These women walk around here and all these no clothes on basically, and I'm like trying to work out, right? I'm not here for that. So what all I'm saying is, bottom line is, because that's another subject. I'm not saying that there's anecdotal experiences. It is possible to find your soul connection. I'm not saying that, Big Red Slaps. You can't if you have luck up on a woman who's want to get on their program and will accept you as you are for your personality and all that stuff. Fine, but to the majority, right? It's just not a very comfortable situation. Even so much dudes are getting passports, really, and they're leaving the country to find.
But that's even another topic, bro. I ain't even gonna touch that, bro.
Yeah,
I'm not even gonna touch that. Like that's wild, bro.
Yeah, I'm just saying is because the standards are so high here, right, from the women and society, not just the women, not just
That's
the women.
not true, man. That ain't true like that, though, bro.
It is very difficult, right, to try to match this without working 70 hours a week, 80 hours a week, right? Having a life. Yeah, you can get the money, but what is it going to cost you? And that's pressure. And it just, once again, I just feel, this is my opinion, Big. I'm not saying I'm not disagreeing with you. You could have.
I'm not disagreeing with none of y'all, bro. To each their own. But I would never just put out there like a standard like that, bro. When I grew up, I didn't see that like that until I got on these YouTube spaces. That's when I started seeing shit like that, and it was just really different for me, bro.
Do you know what today is? Big
wait, hold on, Ruthless. Let me ask Riggs a question, right? That's a good point that you're making, right? You say you haven't noticed until you came up to YouTube Spaces.
Absolutely.
So Riggs, right? So because you're noticing in the YouTube space, did you start to see the same type of, let's see, there's YouTube reality and then there's reality on the streets or whatever. So did you see that type of reality on the streets aligned with the YouTube reality?
Or not all of it. Not all of it.
Okay. The reason why I asked that question, right, is because this also goes back again, like I said, everybody has their own experience based off of,
Absolutely,
their own personalized community.
Absolutely.
Know? So, like, if you grew up somewhere, right? Follow on with this, right? If you grew up somewhere, okay, in the rough neighborhoods, like in the hood or whatever, I don't care who you are, right? You're gonna carry those traits based off from your upbringing to your community. You have some people, right? Which I don't know why black people to this day like mock other blacks when they talk a certain type of dialect and call them white. But if you had a black person, okay, he grew up in the suburbs, and his community is pretty much Caucasians or whatever, and now he's talking like I guess whatever how Caucasians supposed to talk like, and he gets himself like a Becky or whatever. Most of the people is going to judge him as a square. Some type of jargons that will be said, he probably won't even be able to differentiate or to even have a level of understanding what are those slang terms mean. You know what I mean? So he gonna be dumbfounded because he's not used to hearing those type of words. He's not used to hearing that type of lingo or the way how certain people operate. If he go into a neighborhood right now where it's like where we could get used to, okay, it's the hood, whatever. We know how to protect ourselves. That dude will be scared shitless. You know what I mean? He'll be clutching his pearls or whatever. Because some people have not grew up around that type of environment. So what happens is when they tell these stories, their stories is pretty much his story. You know what I mean? His history of things. And so, but the thing is, I get what everybody's saying. Everybody got different perspectives, but a lot of times we do get caught up in using our story as a way to the standard of how people should operate. Now I'm gonna tell a personal story
Absolutely,
about
myself. Bro. I appreciate you saying that because I can never tell anybody what they saying is wrong because I don't know how they live in their life, right? But there's no way I can let somebody just say this is what it is and that's the standard. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not true, bro. Like that's like me saying what I'm saying is the standard. I wouldn't do that. You feel me? And that's why when you say that, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just a conversation, bro. It ain't like, and that's the thing with these YouTube streets too. You ask some of these women, bro, what kind of man you want? Kevin Samuels proved that shit. they would say a man making 100 or so K. And he's like, do you know how many men make that?
Some people
These
say
mother, you know what I'm
500K.
saying? Like, come on,
Yeah.
bro. Like, this
But
shit is wild. And that's
yeah.
all that's all that YouTube shit, bro. But when you go into real life, man, these same hutches out here, bro, that be acting that certain way, you catch them in the club, man, you giving them dick in the motherfucking back, bro. You know what I'm saying? So all that shit go out the window, bro. Like, I mean, let's just keep it 100. Now, there's some people, yeah, you may have issues and have them type of problems, bro. You know what I'm saying? But some people don't. So to put standards on shit, and that's what YouTube does, bro. And that's what's so cold about it. They take the whole conversation and salute, Bruiser, and they put, you know what I'm saying? They just put everything as a standard, bro. That shit's wild.
But here's one last other thing too, Riggs, right? But we also have to keep in mind too that their standard is always going to be like their standard for their community. So
that's still, all fine and dandy.
it's still apply. Hold on for a second. Hold on, Rush. Is that's you? I'm trying to see the switch phone.
Yeah. My other phone dying.
Oh, okay, for sure. Just want to make sure it was you. Yeah. So the standards still apply into the people within their community that needs to hear it. So I'm not knocking down like on anybody's perspective point of view. It's just that I can't see it to be universal because some people haven't had that type of experience and other people are not going to really listen to a certain standard. It only applies within the community that people grew up in and can actually relate. That I would definitely say.
Facts.
And let me do a quick side note real quick. I gotta ask Rush, bro. Because I've been seeing Rush for a little minute. Rush, you from Philly, bro?
Nah, I'm from Boston.
Oh, okay, for sure, man. Because like every time I hear you, man, I be getting like freeway vibes, Pip. So I just had to ask, man.
It's all good. I mean, yeah, I get that a lot. A lot of people, I mean, they assume either I'm from Philly or New York,
right?
But yeah, I mean, like, yo, this is one of these topics that's mad touchy. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not the debating type or like to argue or whatever. But this is just one of those things that we just not gonna agree on. Know what I mean?
Oh yeah, that's all Velveeta, man. Hey, you know what I'm saying? It's all Velveeta, bro. I don't be tripping on shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's just a discussion, man.
Yeah, let me get.
It's all love. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I appreciate it. It's grown folks talk anyways, though. Let me get to. Hold on for a second, guys. Let me get to Bruiser. Bruiser, what's up, man? How you doing?
What's going on, fellas?
Nothing much, man. How you doing?
What's up, Bruce?
Oh, let me move.
You look like my lawyer. I need a lawyer, man. You ready?
Man, I got a lot of knowledge in the courtroom, so I might be able to help.
Hey, Bruiser be showing up straight up in like suits and shit, man. I'm just seeing him too, though. You know what I mean?
I got a case next week. You got me?
Got you, man. So what y'all talking about? I just tuned in. Somebody sent I think M3 sent me. I mean, not M3. I don't know. Actually, it's the best. Sent me a Instagram DM, said tune in. I was like, all right, yeah, I got the time. Let me tune in.
Okay, yeah. The title is pretty much called like, have you fulfilled like your childhood like aspirations? So, I mean, in other words, like, you know, when you was a kid, there's probably was things that you wanted to become. So, you know, have you ever fulfilled those type of aspirations in your life? If so, what was your experience?
Man, I grew up in the country, so yeah, I would say yeah, I did. I did it was a lot of fucked up shit that I wanted to do as a kid, though. Just a lot of bad stuff, you know. I didn't have a father, so you know I didn't have that guidance. So my aspirations wasn't aligned with something that be purposeful for me in the future. You know what I'm saying? Those things I had to like leave behind literally as I started to get more education and more understanding on how to move through life. So I'd say my aspirations was restricted to how long would it take me to coming into an actual adult. If I'm still doing childish things, then it's clear that I still have aspirations that I want to try to achieve as a child. Yeah. But I think once I got into wanting to be an adult and wanted to actually step up to the plate and take responsibility for the things I was doing. And I was no longer under the covering of my parents or anything like that. And at that point, my childhood aspirations started to drastically change. It started to be like, okay, how do I fit in society? What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? How can I move and be successful? What do I like? What kind of career I wanted to take up? Do I want to have a wife? I want to have children. Those things started to come into my mind that didn't come into my mind when I was a child. I was on Sega Genesis, Xbox, whatever you want to call it, trying to be the best gamer or whatever. But then those things kind of faded away because those things don't make me any money, and I need money to do the things that I want to do as an adult.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get the full context behind it. I haven't heard anybody answers. But yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, everybody kind of like, kind of said the spiel as far as like, childhood aspirations. We kind of drifted a little bit as far as it was like one of the recent topics that we was talking about. And that was pretty much like, have in this day of age, right? Is it more easier and accessible for pretty much personal growth as opposed to our parents and grandparents? And my answer was pretty much was like, hey, I believe that people have it easy now. I feel like children have it more easier than what they had before. Other people feel like it's harder because, well, if you talk about relationship topics, then that's I can only provide a whole different answer to it because there's a good and take with social media, computers, technology. Technology, man, you don't even have to use your brain as much. You could just go on the web, get them like an AI or whatever, ask a question, maybe have that AI type your resume or a cover letter or whatever, and you'll get the results. As opposed to you have to pay somebody to help give you that type of knowledge. The knowledge is already in the web. However, in relationships, it can be a little rough because everybody's in the social media world. So you have dating apps or whatever, that people could just go to, and then you could just get your fulfillment right there. So a woman could get like X amount of dudes fast on social media, but maybe the trade-off is you don't know how to talk to these men or you don't know how to respond properly if they ever do approach you. But now these days, I don't think a lot of men do a lot of cold approaching because society has become a little bit more reliant on technology. So that's my take on it. It's a good and a bad.
Men are seeing women out there that they desire or attracted to, and they're reluctant to walk up to them and try to spit game or something like that.
Well, that was just my personal opinion. I feel like as far as because of technology, like people are more fearful to approach. It's like you kind of build that type of experience or that type of muscle. You know what I mean? So
yeah, he had a show on that.
Yo, can I interject real quick?
Can
I interject real quick?
Yeah. You could do it quickly.
Yeah, like as far as you saying, like, dudes not cold approaching no more, approaching females no more. I definitely agree with you on that. But we gotta factor a few things in. One, the dating apps, that's only beneficial for the female. You know what I mean? The dudes don't benefit off that. And there's stats that prove that. Two, as far as like dudes approaching females and trying to approach females and converse with them to bag them and seal the deal. That's out the picture because a lot of these females, they kind of rude and disrespectful and they enjoy shitting on a nigga, you know what I mean? And two, You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, because of the social media era, they're not cut for my cloth. Like when we was coming up, we had to converse with females. There was no dating app. Now because of the whole social media era or whatever, it really changed the game on how people interact with each other. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
that's what I wanted to chime in. You know what I mean?
Right. And keep in mind too, before I get back to Bruiser and salute B-Eazy Dat Dude. Um, I'm almost like 10 years like in being married. So as far as like certain apps and the way how things are and the way how people are, I'm way off the game from that. So I just want to kind of like let you guys know that hey, um, I don't do the things that other people are doing today. So, in some cases, I probably cannot really see fully of what a lot of people are going through. But I'm open to being wrong.
Well, don't you think the new technology is kind of stunting the man's game because now he's not now when he like you said when he's able to get in front of a woman, he don't really know what to say because he's usually using the his Google on maybe what is the sweetest things you could say to girl to bag a girl or watching YouTube videos on how to girl, and he's not really coming from his authentic self.
Yeah.
So I mean, like I'm the same as you. I'm in the same boat as you. I've been married for almost a decade. So, but I still think that I can go out here. I still think I got the capacity to be able to, charm a woman into having a conversation with me to the point to where we could find some type of mutual interest, and to the point inevitably where we exchange contact information. I still think I can be able to do that, even in amidst a society where I think he said is women are becoming disrespectful. Uh, I, I, I don't know. I don't really see it a lot. I see videos of women being like humble, or modern women being delusional. But as far as a man trying his hand, I haven't seen videos like, "Oh, you ain't chick, fuck around." If you got it, you got it, right? Is that still a thing? If you got it, you know what I'm saying. If you got it, if you got the swagger or whatever, you got the
The
charm.
game
Man,
swagger, something
that's
like
how
that.
I grew up. You either had it or you didn't, bro. It wasn't no red
That's a
pill. You're a
fact, though.
beta,
That's a fact.
sigma,
Yeah,
gamma, delta, high, Wi-Fi. It
God,
wasn't
man.
that. It's either you had it or you wasn't. It wasn't no gray area. It wasn't no in
Did you have to have
between.
100K?
And I think it was Bruiser that was just talking, and that's really why I came up. It was like,
Mhm.
bruh, it wasn't no mystery. It wasn't that you needed to get a dating coach and manosphere talking point. You just
Right,
shot your shot. And then once you got shot down multiple times, you learn what to do different. Just like
right,
basketball. You shoot the shot, you keep bricking, you change your form, now you swishing. Come on,
right,
bruh. You gotta keep shooting. You miss
right.
100% of the shots you don't take. These dudes now, don't take my word, look it up. The
Oh
young dude, there's more virgins now than there's ever been before. They said
Yeah, it's about
between
30%, 30%.
they said 18 to like 35, 63% of the dudes is single now. Most
shit.
of these dudes don't know how to talk to women,
That's a
and
fact.
they're using the technology as an escape route so they don't
That's
got
a
to work on
fact.
themselves. Man,
No.
I'll just go pay for some pussy. It's like, bruh, if you worked on yourself, the pussy would be paying you, bruh. But you're not thinking of it like that because you vagina worshiping. These dudes
That's
is
a
not doing
fact,
anything to work upon on themselves. They trying to actually take a shortcut. Bro, there's no shortcuts to manhood, bro. Manhood, the
Man,
acronym master all nature. What are you mastering if you running out trying to pay for everything?
dudes be
You
mastering.
feel
fuck.
me?
But
Bruh, you'll pay everything except for the cost to be the boss.
we
Nigga,
understand
that's some
that,
simp shit. But
Wait,
you
wait,
run
wait, wait.
around talking about you
Woo!
red pill. Either you have it or you don't.
but
There's
it's
no
also
in
Period.
between, bruh.
men
Let,
who
This
are.
shit is
let,
not
yeah.
mysterious, bro.
I think we
Wait,
can
wait,
distinguish, right?
Rufus. Oh, wait, hold on. Give me a one second, okay? I'll let you speak afterwards, right?
Right.
Okay. Be easy and Bruce. I'm glad that you guys like came up, right? Because you know, well, Bruiser, you already know because I had to do like a reaction video, to one of your videos when the young lady came up, which I didn't know she came up before in the beginning because I missed that part until we actually did that reaction. But um, dudes like that be talking about, and I'm always talking the specifics. The one that's always bragging about what they could do, but when the opportunity presents itself, then it's like an excuse. well, I don't need to come up because I can't take this seriously, or I'm not gonna come up because I'm resting in my masculinity. People have excuses when the opportunity sees itself, but every time you go on YouTube, you always hear somebody talking about, well, let me tell you how to get this person, or let me tell you about all these black women, how they're no good and how you need to move and act accordingly. But are you really that type of dude outside of YouTube? Which that's why I usually call. I mean, I call women out too, but I call both sides out. So I'm glad you guys are up here though. So we could probably talk about that a little bit because what B-Eazy said kind of reminded me about some of these type of cats. But Ruthless Truth, I know you wanted to reply, so I'm gonna give you a chance.
I mean, we all can agree that women are different now. Traditional women is what men want now. And they're far in between. And I'm not saying that for some dudes, these modern women work good. Like you said, like B-Eazy say, if you got it or you don't. But even back in our days, when those guys had it or they didn't, they were far in between, right? Because not everybody has it. And now, back then, you had a little bit of way with sports and different things. You can still get you a decent woman. But now, because the women are being raised by the internet, right? Kids getting phones at 12, 9, 8 years old. And they seeing that vision of what they want. And because society, the standards have raised as far as what is success and what is not, has become the leading cause of these to spark these YouTube conversations. And to point out of Kevin Samuels, how he grew up. Because they said for years he was talking about men and he really didn't get that notoriety. But as soon as he started having the women come on his platform, it went off the Richter scale because women were saying, these women were telling him, these delusional women were telling, hey, I want this, I want that, I want this. And then he would come and say, well, you're delusional, or well, you're wrong. And then from there, us men who were experiencing this because we really didn't want to say nothing, piggybacked on his topics and his talking points, and now here we are today. And it's not even a dispute. This is not even a debate that women, the modern women, with the support of the United States government, with the support of the LGBTQ community, with the support which is engrafted in the feminist movement, the Me Too movement, right? All these movements are crafted and built to go against men, right? So they want to be equal. Your woman over talking you, your woman back talking. All these things are a challenge to a man who wants a marriage, who wants to get kids and have his legacy stretched out, right? He wants to leave this earth with a meaningful relationship. We're not all just trying to, bust every chick down like that. We trying to build futures, but women are making it hard because it's difficult to get a communication going. She wants her way. She got her money. Now she wants me to make more than her, or she wants to tell me what to do. Well, I say, I want this. She said, well, I'm making money too, so what? And we're bumping heads. And as we know, a lion, two lions on the same mountain, it's very difficult to survive. So women are leaving, they're filing for divorce, right? Men are begging, we want the simple things, peace, quiet, a woman to come home to, and these women are refusing to meet our demands these days. And this makes it harder because now not a men don't want to get married no more, right? Marriage is down at its lowest point. So, yeah, you can have the game, and credit to Boozer, M3, right, who's married. I truly say you guys got a gift. And I do not promote anything other than that is a positive thing. But there are a lot of us out here very envious and want that what you guys got, that same type of structure, right? That communication, that warmth to come home and not being able to have to deal with, indifferences. And this is all we saying. It ain't that we're here to just put man down, but we're here to build our families, and in order to build our families, our women have to get in line.
Okay. I respect your statement, you know, but look, man, I'm pretty much like simple in my solutions. Men gotta choose better, just like women have to choose better. People in general have to choose better people.
But when
Now,
you got the
people could.
system against you, it's hard, right? They're using that. The women are using the system, not your women, right? I'm not speaking on yours, but a lot of women are. They're leaving. Look at Tom Brady and his wife, right? She literally divorced him because he wanted to play football. And when she met him, he was playing football. She said, "You know what? I'm out here because you're gonna listen to me, and I can't control you." And he is the epitome of a success. And she just burnt the whole house up. This is happened. That just I know it's a one experience, but this is going throughout cancer throughout America. So, you know, I understand what you're saying, M3 solution, yeah, but it's just becoming a big problem, man. And we're just addressing it right here. We're getting it out right now.
Rosa, what do you think about it?
I think the problem. I think he's right with the problem with the women. Now you gotta recognize, okay, if you're a man that's, I don't know what's ruthless age, like what is your status today? You know, how old are you? You know,
Well, I'm 51. I'm in a relationship, you know, just so you know. But I just came like out the dating scene before that, right? And I was experiencing all those things before I got to where I got to. And so I can relate. Because I really didn't never had nobody to talk to about it. You know what I mean? It was just, I was just compartmentalized, like, damn, why are women so, you know, materialistic? Why, you know, what happened to those good old days?
Yeah, but you got to understand that, you know, society is.
They never stop being materialistic.
Yeah, society is indoctrinating women to be consumers, and they are, you know, in order to maximize consumption for big business, it's best that a woman be single in the nation, because she tends to spend drastically more, whether when she's under the wing of a man or in a household with a man. So it's a motive, you know what I'm saying? It's an agenda that you got to compete with. But the thing is, they getting these women ushered into this mindset as early as 18. You know, once they get out of college and get into their careers, you know, it's off to the races. So if you're a young 20-year-old, 21, 22, and you're working, now you got to figure out, hey, look, okay, do I want to wait till I get into my purpose, 35, and find a woman? Do I want to find a woman waiting at the finish line for me, or should I find a woman to build with? So if you the thing is, if you taking a risk, you're risking having to go into the dating scene as a man on his purpose established, and then having to go try to look at the women that's left that's able to be in a relationship, and it's very scarce. It's like 14%. You know, 90% and 96% of the women see independence as their number one goal, and it doesn't include a man. So you got to look at it, okay, like if I'm a 35, 40-year-old man, what type of woman I want? Well, I want somebody my age. If it's yes, then now you got to deal with the 80% of those women between 35 and 40 have a kid. Now do you want to be a stepfather? So you got to weigh all that. Like, what are your options? Or you can go down and start dating women between 19 and 25. But do you want to deal with a woman that's immature? So it's like a trade-off. So if you wait so long to get you a wife, I got my wife when she was 21. She's 30 years old now. Because I saw what was happening. I was like, man, if I wait too long, because you got guys out here that want to play. They're in their 20s, they don't want to get married. They want to fuck all kind of bitches. They don't want to get out here and lay it down, you know, turn the cards in. They want these same women to be available with a low body count, you know what I'm saying, with the mindset to be a wife at 35. And we can't count on these women to make it to 35 and still have that value, you know, still hold that value. We can't count on that. So now
you know what that's called? Delusion. and these men just be equally, if not more. What you described was a state of delusion, and I'm not disagreeing, but these dudes be pointing the finger. The women are delusional, right? The women are delusional. What Bruiser just laid out was just utter sheer delusion by the men, thinking that you gonna say she for the streets, right? She don't put out, so you don't want to mess with her because she don't put out. So you mess with chicks that put out, but you don't want to wife them because they put out. But that's what you want. She doing exactly what you want. You know what I mean? And then you trying to spread this red pill game to everyone else. So every dude wants a chick to put out, but when it's time to settle down, every chick by your standards is for the streets. But I thought you said you didn't want that. So why you didn't lock her down at 21 like Bruiser did? Man, I wasn't ready. So now you got to take whatever options is out there. You can't complain about what options is available left to you.
100%.
You know what was there. So now you want me to feel sorry for you? If you say no, then what are we complaining about? Now you starting to sound like a hoe. You trying to tell me you red pill and sigma and alpha. This don't sound like no alpha shit. Complaining on panels and venting and crying and stuff, bruh. Settle this in private. You don't got a wolf pack of alphas that y'all could talk to privately. So when you get on panels, you don't got to spill your guts and show how much of a simp you is. All dudes be showing their hands and showing that you never was getting chick. Because a lot of this stuff be very simple, bro. They come on here spewing their guts. I'm like, bro, how'd you fall for this, bro? Like, if you had it, you wouldn't have never fell for that, which means you wouldn't have went on this red pill rage binger, bro. Just get it together, man. Associate with for real, bro. Associate with the masculine men around you.
Get it together.
Take their counsel, bro. Nobody knows everything, bro. We could all learn from each other, bro. But like, don't get on these panels. I'm not saying anyone on this panel, but I'm just speaking generally. Don't get on the panels and cry about what the women is not doing when you as a man are not even qualified for what you asking for, bro. Dudes be one man, chicks want this, bro. You can't be demand the treatment of a king and you don't have a castle, bro. Come on, bro. Let's get it together.
Yeah, I want to interject real quick. I definitely agree with B-Eazy is saying right now. But for the dudes that's making those indecisive decisions and moves, you know, they should be schooled on, yo, if she doesn't have a hymen, you shouldn't give her a diamond. That's simple. Know what I mean?
I agree.
She don't have a who? A hymen?
He said if she ain't giving, basically, if she got high mileage on the hymen, then no time. But you shouldn't be contributing to that mileage, right? Like, you can't be test driving the car. Here, let me drive it to Vegas, and then you bring it back like, man, it got too much mileage, bro. You just drove it to Vegas, like, you know what I mean? You didn't have to take that
driving
trip.
to Vegas and come back with AAA.
And also, I want to add this in. So, like, you know, a dude, you can't rewrite a female sexual imprint. She's always going to be attracted to what she's attracted to. So if you know, because you know, life situations happen, you know what I mean? And you know, a lot of times, you know what I mean, your females will link up with a dude that's a great opportunity for her on the come up financially, you know what I mean? And you know, and that's them linking up with the, you know, the simps that got that bread. You're
I'm
Yeah, that's
confused.
always on the table.
I'm
That
confused.
option is always on the table for them. But you
I'm-
know, luckily, like M3 and Bruiser are saying, if you vet better, it's all in the vetting first. There's the vet process, then there's the choosing process, and then it's their finalizing of your choice. Once you do that better, then you know, I don't think M3 is like having these thoughts, man, is my wife gonna join the OnlyFans and all she gonna do that? Because some dudes be complaining, it's like, bro, you chose a chick that you kind of already, you knew that she had one before you met, and now you want her to just change what her nature is. But you already knew what her nature is. If you vetted her more properly, you know, see the chick. Oh, is she a church going girl? Oh, does she post pics with her Instagram
but
showing her
sometimes
cakes and
dudes
cheeks and stuff? It's like,
they
a lot of
do
dudes
know
don't be
and they feel
vetting,
like
and then
they
they be
know.
complaining about it afterwards.
Hold on, guys. Let me fill for Mr. Best real quick. Mr. Best, so one of your last questions, I think, before you left for a minute, when you asked about like is it harder for like people of today, or is it easier for people of today, something like that, somewhere down the line. And then Riggs made his comments, Rufus and Russia whatever made their comments. It was mixed because like half of us agree, half of us disagree. But the points that we agree mostly is that like okay, nowadays days it's easier for you to find like opportunities. There should be no excuse for why you don't have a job. You know what I mean? If you're healthy, if you're strong, if you're able to work, you should find something. You know, I know we don't have like free classes anymore, like how like our grandparents had, but there's still other ways to make money like through technology. Now in relationships, okay, because I think Ruthless Truth took it to male and female relationships and how it's so hard for men to get with women because shit that's going on today. This is why we're having this particular type of conversation.
Well, I don't give a shit about minimum relationships. I'm not even talking about that shit tonight. So fuck that shit. I don't give a fuck about that. So as far as goals and dreams for like, can it make it happen easier nowadays? Um, I mean, I don't know. Like that's a loaded question. I know I asked it myself, but it is a loaded question that I asked. I would say that in any time frame, whether it's now or it was in the past or in the future, it kind of all depends on, what I mean. It's always gonna depend on a couple of factors: your upbringing, you know what I'm saying, um, your neighborhood, you know what I mean, and what I'm saying, your education level, you know what I mean. So, and also the resources that you have around you, you know what I mean. So there's a lot of determining factors going to factor in on whether you're going to have an easier time finding us something that's going to help you to grow and going to help you put you in a different um in a different tax bracket or whatever, or you're going to struggle. You know what I'm saying? Some people they grow up in humble circumstances. They don't grow up in the best circumstances. So I get it. You know what I mean? If you are afforded to live in a big city, you know what I mean? Sometimes it could be easier for you, sometimes it could be harder for you, depending on all those factors. You know what I mean? Because you gotta understand, in America it's still very competitive. You know what I mean? Competition is still at
Mm-hmm.
an all time high. You gotta remember that. You know what I'm
Cost of
saying?
living as well, yeah.
You know what I mean? So you gotta compete when you out here, especially if you live in a major city. Live in a major city, oh, you going damn sure gonna have to compete. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like you damn sure gonna have to compete. Because yeah, you may be coming out of high school or whatever, but it's gonna be that kid, man, who, you know what I mean, he went to school, he went to a better school than you. You know what I'm saying? Or his parents got more money, or they got more whatever, and he's afforded opportunities that you're not. And that's just a fact. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can't dodge that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why I always put to our people that we need to be focusing on generational wealth. You know what I'm saying? Across the board. You know what I mean? Generational wealth across the board because if you want your youth to have better opportunities, you have to provide them a better lifestyle. You know what I mean? You know,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we be thinking that our kids just gonna grow up and become fucking LeBron James. That's not gonna happen. That's a 1 in a million, 1 in a billion. You know what I'm saying? Type of thing, or Jay Z or something. That's not for everybody. Not everybody can come from just nothing and just become something, that's otherworldly, or make a salary that's just out of this world. That doesn't happen for everybody. We just got to be real. You know what I mean? A lot of
Mm-hmm.
people fall through the cracks. A lot of people fall through the wayside. A lot of people have kids before they should be having kids. A lot of things happen to just basic normal people. So when we see these instances, we try to put it on everybody, but that's not everybody's reality. You know what I'm saying? So, of course,
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to these kids, they're not gonna, you know what I mean? It all depends on just, like I said, all the determining factors. You know what I mean? And with our people, with our community, we got to be honest. Do our neighborhoods provide? Does it provide the resources that the other neighborhoods provide on a grand scale? And the answer is fucking no. We know that already. We know our neighborhoods ain't on the same level as if you grew up, you know what I'm saying, in Beverly Hills, or you grew up in some affluent community that the other cultures grow up in. You know what I'm saying? We know this already. So I'm not even we're not even going we don't have to even, even try to play fantasy football on that shit. So yeah.
No. And I'm glad you touched up on these things because that's one of the things that I did say right that earlier. You have it's easy, but you have a lot of competition. It's accessible, but because a lot of people have that same type of accessibility, the competition is definitely going to be high. Cost of living is going to be high. Everything does go up. So it's kind of like it's a yes and then it's also a no, but it only depends on pretty much your environment. If you're in a community that you could get the help that is needed, then yeah, it's going to be provided. If you're not in a community that you're not going to get the help, it's going to be challenging. Although, yeah, we do have social media and we have other things. So this is probably why, like, you see like a lot of grown dudes, you know, on TikTok or whatever. Men, women, both being fucking goofy as usual and try to get as much clout as they can in hopes that, hey, like maybe I could win, like, the clout lottery and start making some money off of it, off of using technology. So that's why, people they get caught up in, well, that's why, like, opportunity is there and they know it, but the competition is just too high. But go ahead, y'all.
So what's the actual topic or the question?
So we pretty much was covering a lot of things as far as, like, childhood aspirations. So basically things that you want to do, like when you was a kid growing up. Okay, did you accomplish those things as an adult? If so, okay, expound. If not, still expound to it. You want to go at it, B-Eazy?
Um, I don't know. What Mr. Best was talking about seemed like something specific, and that wasn't like my childhood aspiration. So I'm just like a bit confused the direction because it's been like
No, it's
so many
spawned off.
different topics going, bro.
It spawned off. It spawned off to another question after that.
Yeah.
Another question after that was that, do the kids now have it easier getting their childhood aspirations, getting their goals accomplished than we do, or that we did?
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's a clear question. Do they have it easier? I mean, I think that's subjective. We'd have to determine some criteria of the past. This is what they had to go through versus now, you know what I mean? So I think the argument could be made for both, but um I would say an argument could be made that it's harder, with all of these distractions and people are undisciplined, unable to control themselves, and now they have even more distractions, right? Like eating the wrong food, knowing you shouldn't, that's kind of a distraction because it's like right next to you, fast food, liquor stores, and all this stuff. Now you got social media, spending all the time on there, knowing you shouldn't be on there. That's a distraction. Making it that much harder for you to focus on a purpose and even define what a purpose is, right? Women on there seeing twerking and that's the standard and saying, okay, um, who is telling them that they shouldn't be like that? And then the dudes are rewarding these chicks by smashing them. So they saying, hey, if this is what it takes to get a dude, I'll do that. Dude just like running around with guns and tattoos, like this is what it takes for me to be a man, right? I gotta go to jail to be a man. It's more of those distractions in they face than it was back then. Back then, you just leave your bike, bruh. Like I would go to M3, Bruiser, Big Rig House, and just leave a bike in front. Nobody will ever touch it. Could you do that now? I mean, people used to just leave their garage open and doors unlocked, a key under could you really do that now? Would you trust to do that now? So, I mean, it might. I can't definitively say, but it might be harder now because I think the indoctrination, they've had so much time to be more covert with it and be more sophisticated and subtle with their indoctrination. And many people, unfortunately, do that hands-off parenting where they just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna let the teacher teach my kid, right? I'm gonna let the white teacher teach my kid about Black history accurately. And then when they don't, I'm gonna be mad at the teacher. I'm not gonna do anything to teach them, but like the teacher should be able to do, you know what I mean? That's people's mentality, like kind of a hand-off approach with parenting. Not all, but a significant amount. They let them watching these shows where they get indoctrinated, more distracted. I think a lot of these things make it more difficult for a very feeble, immature mind to overcome. Back then, it was all in your face. It was nigger with the hard ER, no colors here. So people had to actually say, look, there's no bones. Now with the interracial dating and stuff, people are actually confused, you know? So not to say that's a bad thing, but I'm just saying they think that, oh, there's no segregation or there's no underlying racism or anti-blackness. So all of these things help people remain more distracted on what their actual purpose is. It's a simple question, but if you ask people, what is your purpose? Like they'll have to, you know, if you ask them what's the latest celebrity gossip, they'll be able to tell you right off the bat what happened after Oscars, what right off the bat. What is your purpose? Crickets.
Mm-hmm. Facts.
Is that because we dropped the ball? Like we dropped the ball with them? You know what I'm
No,
saying?
I don't think so. I think it's the country that we're in. This is the direction they want to go.
I think it's both. The country definitely wants to go that direction, and you going against basically like the 300 going against the Persian army, you know what I mean? That's more sophisticated, you know what I mean? But then there is a dropping of the ball just in the mentality and the entire mental fortitude, you know what I mean? Because physically, people are still capable, able, and now they have more tools at their disposal. But since they're mentally softer and intellectually dumbed down, they're not using those tools effectively. Like social media could be used to connect and be uniting, but instead people rather use it to engage in drama, you know what I mean, and other, buffoonery. It's the same tool, just being used differently.
But see, B-Eazy, this is what I was saying. This is what I also said earlier, right? Because I compare like the pros and the cons to like a modern day life. Most of us rely on technology for some good things if it's used like in the right. Oh, somebody left. If it's used like in the right place, But if you're using technology, let's just say like to try and match chicks or using technology to complain about life or whatever, that's where you kind of like steering like in a whole different direction. You know what I mean? So everything in life, is always going to be good and bad in some kind of way. So like when men are talking about they want a traditional woman, okay, and you're saying it's hard to find someone that's traditional, then maybe you might have to put a little bit more effort into code approaching because you want something that's traditional. And I'm not saying men are not doing this, but I'm just trying to, provide something that is simple, but yet it could be complex to some. You may have to go through traditional standards by code approaching and talking to the right type of people who actually appreciate your approach, that old school type approach. I mean, we do have women that do complain about men not approaching them anymore, as much as men are complaining that women are rude if they try to approach. That type of excuse, right? Everybody do have excuses.
But hold on,
Mm-hmm,
ask them this though, because if
mm-hmm.
they say they want a traditional woman, that would mean that they. So are they going to be modern men looking for a traditional woman? Are they traditional men looking for traditional women?
Well,
Like
see,
these
that's
dudes
the
never
yeah.
answer these questions. And then let's just say you are a
Mhm.
traditional man. What is your traditional approach to get that traditional woman? Or are you
What?
going to use a modern approach to get a traditional woman? Just
Well,
fair
see, that's
questions to
yeah.
ask.
Well, no, but see, this is the point where I'm going to expound on that, right? Because the thing is, you cannot expect, right, to find traditional women if you're using a modern approach by going through social media and trying to holler at some of these women that you see off the internet. Most of these women, these type of women, right, that's on this internet, they're going most of the time they're going to be shaking, trying to get attention. They're going to do whatever it takes for clout, so they could actually be noticed by the men that they really want. You know, most of them want the athletes or people who's really like highly successful, or I guess the term high value men, the 1% type of guy, which is why they put themselves out there as a market for themselves on social media. But you have dudes who, like I said, I'm not bashing these dudes or whatever, but you have the traditional dudes that the ones who's claiming that they want traditional women. You gotta find those traditional women somewhere else outside of
In
social media.
traditional places, right? You search it in
Mm-hmm.
all the modern women places and like, where are all the traditional women? You going to the club talking about, could I find me a traditional woman? Bruh, at the club twerking at the bar? Come on, bruh, let's get real.
Yo, man, I found my traditional woman in the club. That's what most of these dudes will probably say. Like, we got me. Oh, in the car, in the
I
club,
got
in the bar.
I got a question based more on the topic. We
Mm-hmm.
veering off again. Um, so my question is this, right? So for younger people, when they're trying to get things done, is it more or less that they're misinformed, or that or that is it just being misused, right? So is it miseducation, or are they just misusing the information they got? Because you can go on the internet and they can show you how to do coding, how to do this career, how to do that career. So the information is there, or the information being misused. You know what I'm saying? Is it being just used for the wrong things? You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think it's a lack of information. Maybe they're misusing the information. Maybe that's why they can't find the right career, or they can't put themselves in a better position to get anything done.
It's all about priorities, though. You know, like I said before, like you know, outside of relationships, you have a benefit. And it looks like Six Balls. Like, thank you for tuning in. Good
It's just
evening
boss.
to you. You know, but this the problem, Mister Best, right? Because you have pretty much zero excuses. You know, if you're out here trying to grind or work, there's technology at your fingertips that will help guide you. And if you don't understand, hopefully there will be people around or YouTube that would help you to be educated, because people go to YouTube to learn about little simple stuff, you know, through YouTube University is what I call it. So you got every information. All you gotta do is just type it in. Google is like the largest search engine, and YouTube is number two. You know what I mean? So you can find all your resources just by going to like one of these two like different type of like apps. You know what I mean? Or websites. So people who are not really taking advantage of the opportunity, maybe they're just not really, either they're trying to figure life out, or they're just not really that interested. And you can only tell like if you're a person not really interested in trying to get into a career that you want, especially as far as with technology, then that person needs to try to find what is like his niche or what's her niche. What is the things that you're good at?
Queen, you was gonna say something?
Um,
I know you work with the youth and all that. So were you gonna say something about that?
well, I think when you have very general talking points. Um, you have to speak on it in very, very broad, generalized ways, meaning that yes, we have the internet. Yes, we have um, YouTube and social media, but a lot of families may not even have a computer at home. That's why they have free internet for certain neighborhoods and families, because these kids got to go to the library and use the. I mean, it's not that cut and dry. There's, even with it being so available, there's still it's still an issue for certain families and certain areas. And I don't believe that kids have it easier um now, because I think kids are forced to grow up a lot sooner now because of everything that's forced down their throat as far as social media, what they have access to. Kids aren't kids. Kids aren't allowed to be kids and foster themselves these days. And I think it's disgusting. You know, how many times do you pass a park and you don't see any kids in it? How many times do you drive down a block and you don't see no kids riding their bikes? It's, kids aren't able to just be children. They're they're almost pimped out by families, and they're put on the internet so that everyone can go viral. So it's horrible. It's horrible what's going on these days with kids. You got little girls with duck lips and booty shorts on and crop tops doing dances with their mama because their mama is only what, 18. But so I think it's unfortunate because I just think it's not, one is not better than the other. It's just different times had their issues and their benefit, the pros and cons. So the pros and cons are different now than they were when we were kids or when our parents were kids. So I don't think it's better or bad. I think it's just different issues and different availability. So yeah,
I
that's
like
all I gotta
that.
say.
Mic drop. All right. Anybody else? Did everybody else
Yeah,
mention
pretty
something?
much Queen said everything that I was going to say. Because especially during the pandemic, a lot of things we take for granted now, but I mean, bro, I had a cell phone in high school, but it was like a prepaid phone. You feel me? You know, these kids got like unlimited Wi-Fi, so some of them be going to like restaurants and certain stuff, and signing into the Wi-Fi or do like the library and stuff. Like Queen was saying, because during the pandemic, not every kid just had a computer. And even when they sent out the Chromebooks, even if you got internet, not all internet is created equal. Some got
Mhm.
that 1G, 2G choppy. So when you're on a Zoom meeting and the teacher is teaching and you hearing every half a word, they was given a lot of participation trophies too, and just passing those kids. A lot of those kids didn't have that information, and like I was saying, we're, even though it's the information age, collectively as a society we're intellectually dumbed down, and this is a even more diabolical plot. Even the Rockefellers, it was a quote, he said, "I don't want a nation of thinkers, I want a nation of workers." So it's better to, the powers that be, it's better for us as a society to be intellectually dumbed down and distracted. So even if these kids did know, hey, look, there's a pot of gold over here, but here's a map. But if no one ever taught them how to read a map, they're gonna be like, you know what? I kind of really don't care about the pot of gold. they still care about it, but it's like they don't read a map, they don't know how to read a map, and they may be embarrassed about it. Some of these kids may want the information, but they need someone to actually teach it to them, and probably kind of, you know, metaphorically spoon feed it to them. Because I've seen some of these kids, if we know that they're reading on, a fourth or fifth grade level, how are we going to expect them to just look up some information and then be able to process it and comprehend it the way that it's need to, appropriately, and then be able to assess the information? That's an unrealistic standard. So that's why we do have to, people gotta volunteer. Most that you could do is, if you have kids, is volunteer your time with your kids, and try to see if they have any other friends in the neighborhood that they go to school with that may be struggling, or that's just doing strong. Start a homework club. If you got a big enough house, invite people over, to do that. People could put in more time, with their kids to help avoid this stuff. But I would say that I don't. Some of the kids are just not looking it up, but some of these kids they don't even think about looking it up, because it's just, for them, they don't see it in their best interest. And I want to say this last thing too. I think that people that are kind of like nerdy and square, bro, I think that they need to embrace that, because there's nothing wrong with that, and need to show how cool that is, because that's another thing too, where some people are like, hey, I don't want to be a bookworm, I don't want to gain this information, even though they don't see the benefits of it. But sometimes people do see a benefit of cutting class, because there's some ratchet girl that wants to meet me, but if I don't cut class, she doesn't see me as a bad boy, so she looks at me as a square. Like it's a lot of identity crisis when it comes to. But I know plenty dudes that was nerdy, but had the attributes to like pull chicks, but they just didn't have the confidence. If they worked as hard as they was doing on coding and comic books and gaming and stuff, they did that on themselves. I think a lot of the nerds could like really establish themselves and show themselves as a option, so that other dudes, because young men are highly impressionable, they see these young dudes getting rewarded, right? They see like their chicks getting snatched up by a chick dude that looks like Little Dirk or NBA Young Boy. So now a dude that ain't even about that life saying, is this what I gotta do to get a chick? That's not the example that we need to say. Look, the Little Dirk is gonna be Little Dirk regardless, but you don't need to be Little Dirk, because that ain't you. You cool the way you are. You know what I mean? You fly the way you are. So like represent that and further embrace that. Because now when you try to be something you're not, it's just like a knockoff version, bro. I don't drink a soda anymore, but bro, if I'm gonna drink a soda, I'm drinking the Dr. Pepper, not a diet Dr. Pepper, bro. Nobody wants a diet version of what they really truly desire, bro. So just be the full version of you. You know what I mean?
What about Mr. Pibb? What about Mr. Pibb?
That's comparable. I'll give you that. One and 1A.
I was
Stop drinking the sodas, man.
Seltzer's Waters is better anyway, besides the soda.
Really quickly, is that there was some little girls, I think it was two little black girls, who during the pandemic did not have internet service or capabilities at home, and they would go sit outside the library to do their homework, sit close enough to the library, and somebody called the cops on them, and they were on the news. And I think they were saying that they didn't have, their school didn't provide the Wi-Fi for them at home, so they couldn't do their homework. They couldn't do so. It's also, kids have to almost be. They can't, like I said before, they can't be kids. Kids can't just come home and know that they're gonna get something to eat, they're gonna get a hug. Like, they almost like have to be adults, because now mommy got to go to work or something, so you got to babysit. I mean, this has always happened, but I don't. We had a different village kind of mentality. The kids are at home now, so parents are saying they can't afford none. So what did they do? They had the line for the lunches. They literally were outside the schools 3 times a day or twice a day to give the kids breakfast and lunch. You know, so it's just even though we have technology, it's not created equal. This world is not supposed to be created equal. So even though it's out there, it's still limited. You have to have the resources to get the best of it sometimes. And it's not that simple. Really isn't. But then you
Thank you,
take away
Queen.
the programs in the school to get the kids outside of the neighborhoods. I've had kids who've never left the city that they live in. Never got on the transportation, never got on a bus to be outside the city, never went to a different part of their state. They stayed in their little town and they never left. These are little kids. So they go somewhere, oh my gosh, they get so excited, you know? So you take those kind of things from the community, what you think is going to be left with? The only people they see winning is the pimps, the hoes, and the drug dealers. That's all they see of winning. So what you think they're going to want to be? Or everybody want to be a rapper, you know? And you can't read. You can't count past 10. I mean, but this is the life. Now everybody want to do these little shots and act like they thug dizzle, you know? It's like it's almost like robotics is not, celebrated. Everybody want to be the athlete. So now what you going to do? Everybody like Mr. Best said, everybody's not going to be LeBron James, but you have other options. Like, kids need kids minds are determined by their community, and when they are stifled, their creativity is almost stifled sometimes. Some kids go into a space and they bloom, but we got to do better. So when people say, oh, that ain't my care, it is your care, because that little boy that you pass by every day and watch him and his mama panhandle, that little boy is going to become an adult, and he may see you driving your Lexus and rob you. I'm just saying.
B-Eazy talk about that all the time.
You know what movie says that? Crash. Crash is a basic movie about reality. We are in a big world, but we are crashing into each other. How many times have you seen somebody you ain't seen in years, and you meet them at the most awkward moment, or where you didn't like them before, now you need them? They're your nurse, they're your doctor, or you know what I mean, they're your ambulance driver, and you're like, whoa, like, we got to stop saying, oh, I'm doing this and nobody else affects me. We affect each other. I'm not saying I can save the world, but I do my best, because I know that little girl that I impact. I told this story before. Young girl, thugged out, juvenile hall, sent away to camps and ranches, off the hook. When I saw her, I was like, oh, hell no. I do nothing. And man, I called her. I called this place for another client of mine, and I got a call back 2 days later, and the young lady on the phone was like, because I said my name on the phone, and she was like, is this Queen Forever that used to work at blah blah blah? Yeah, this is so and so. Huh? Yeah, I'm going to school. I'm trying to be a social worker. You inspired me. Blah blah blah. I mean, random. That's random. But that makes me, I'm tooting my own horn. Poo poo. Anyway, toot toot. But I'm just saying, we don't realize the impact we make, and just the little things, the little acts of kindness. Like the little things. These kids need a fighting chance. They really do. And it's unfortunate that they can't determine the circumstances in which they're born into.
We definitely need to make a talk about this.
Yeah.
Children should be protected at all costs.
They should. They really should. It's horrible. I mean, if I could, I mean, I can give y'all hypotheticals, but some of the stuff I've seen in my line of work, man, it makes me hate human. Makes me hate people, you know. So, and this is someone who had no voice, so you just, you know, you didn't want them, give them to somebody who will love them. Don't keep them and just because you're so unhappy with yourself, just I'm going off topic. Keep abusing them. But anyway, we got to foster the creativity.
I mean, you're definitely expounding, like, you know, to the highest potential, Queen. I mean,
and that's one thing I appreciate. Like I said about my family, it wasn't perfect, you know, but I felt like I was in a space to be creative, to be to figure out who I was, and there wasn't. I didn't half the stuff that I found out as an adult or a teenager, I was shocked. That's what was going on during that time. Yeah, but I would have never known it because the one thing my parents was adamant about is that the kids are kids. They don't need to feel that. They don't need to feel the burdens of what we're going through. Let them children be children. They need to be outside. They need to be playing. They need to be down the block riding their bikes. They need to be, you know what I mean? Like, so, you know, and so my little brother taught himself how to draw at the age of 5. He was drawing comic books. And now today he does amazing tattoos and airbrush and animation, you know, but this was a environment that was fostered around him, you know? Like, oh, some of his friends were thugs, and they was like, oh man, but they didn't, oh man, you going with your crayons. He was like, yep, what, you know, because in him was fostered, I don't need to do what you do to be cool with you. Like, you don't make or break me. So that's another thing too. Anyway,
I'm about to draw myself to sleep, y'all. So you know what I'm saying? I just want to say
in the dark. I don't know why you in the dark. You need to turn on the light on me.
Man,
that ain't helping, big. That ain't helping.
Hey, Riggs, man, I'm about to join you on the sleep train as well too, though, right? Catch that train, man, back because my allergy meds, man.
Y'all close it out.
Yeah. So look. Thank you everybody for your opinions, Queen. Thank you for your comments. I think we do need to look out for the children, definitely for sure. Thank you for people who tuned in. I know it was a busy night, but hey, you guys still rock with us. Shout out to Bruiser as well and everybody else on this panel. Let me hurry up and close it out so I can go ahead and get some sleep. With that being said, stay tuned for just stay tuned for our usuals. All right. Peace out, everybody.
Knowledge and relationships.